Good morning. Excuse me, just felt that happen. How are you?
I'm good. I was just getting Bex to check my teeth. So just eating a chocolate cookie.
Stu brought cookies.
Yeah.
So we've had our breakfast and we're all sugared up and ready to bring you an amazing show from the Potting Shed on YGTV. So good morning. Thank you for joining us. It's a beautiful day, we were saying.
Yeah.
It's actually quite warm in here.
Yeah, you know, it's weird because last night I was driving home about 6 o'clock and it said 21 degrees.
I know, it was really warm last night, wasn't it?
And I'm thinking my truck must have gone wrong, but
No.
yeah, when I got out at home, it's like, this feels really odd.
It's a nice toasty evening, wasn't it?
It feels odd, but in a good way.
Love it. This is what always happens in October. We always get a little bit surprised, don't we, by some nice days, and we're certainly having one today. Thank you for coming and joining us. Let's cover off some of the boring stuff, but important stuff that you need to know. First of all, you can see on the screen, there is a code that has popped up. It says use offer code YGTV4224, and that's really important because it's going to unlock everything.
It is, yeah, and also it tells us only 10 weeks of this year left as well. So
10 weeks to Christmas.
You know.
That's a bit scary, isn't it?
But like, yeah, you say all the codes, sort of all those good deals and all those yummy thingies that we do. What
that code is going to do is it's going to unlock everything that we've got for you. So savings off of all of the items, double up deals, put 3 in your basket, get 1 of them free. It's also going to unlock the free postage offer, first of all. So if you get your order to over £40, we will remove any of the postage cost that is attached to that. It's only one postage cost anyway of £6.99, but as I say, if you can get it to over £40, you will lose that postage cost entirely. The other thing that it will unlock is the free gift. And it is a fantastic free gift this week. This is the ever-popular Narcissus Tete-a-Tete. Bag of 25 bulbs here.
I mean, they are stunning, aren't they? Because, unlike that magazine we gave you the other week, this is going to, sort of come back year after year after year after year.
Yeah, for sure.
These are going to double up, these are going to treble up, and these are multi-flowered on each stem as well. So you might get 3 or 4 flowers on each stem. And they are just the most happy, cheerful, spring-welcoming bulb you could ever plant in your garden.
They are indeed. They're what I like to call the dinky daffodil because they only get to about 15 or 20 centimetres in height. And they naturalise and they spread, and they're an incredibly popular item. I don't know why we're giving it as a free gift, because we sell them. I mean, and this is the perfect time to be selling them. But Ryan's lost his mind. We don't mind. We love Ryan. He's giving them away as a free gift with every single purchase today. So a bag of 25 of those bulbs will go into your basket as long as you enter that code. We want you to be involved in the show, please. It always makes it so much more fun when you interact with us. So the email address is on screen. We've had your pictures already, Dingo. Thank you very much for sending those. We might be able to name that flower as well. We'll come to you in a little while. YGTV@YouGarden.com is the email address. Plus, there is lots you can do in the chat on Facebook and on YouTube. So I've got the iPad ready to go. Neil, good morning to you. Thank you very much for coming in. You're welcome to come and join the chat on YouTube, and I will monitor that. Stu's got Facebook open, so he will monitor everything on Facebook as well. The other thing to remember is to join the club. If you're not a club member already, then now is the time. Every week we get new club members joining. We've got over 45,000 members of that club. By being a member of the club, you will get savings. You will get 10% saving on the pots, the plants, the compost, pretty much everything that we bring you in the potting shed. It costs you just £5 to join. That £5 is all you pay for the year to access the 10% saving off of plants, accessories, 5% off outdoor living, gifts. You can shop the entire website, not just what we show you here in the potting shed. There is an entire website of goodies for you to look at. Plus, you'll get your £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers that you can use as and when you wish. So, boring stuff covered. Let's get into it. Let's start talking about plants, shall we? We're going to go straight over to the favourites table, though, because, hang on, we're going to stop off here in a little while. We've got the syringa, the Madame Lemoyne, which Adam is very excited to talk to you about. You've got one of those, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
We've also got the hibiscus. I've got one of those. It's the Marina. I love the colours on that one. It's only £7.99, by the way. So we'll come back to those in a second. But we're going to come straight over to our favourites table. We start off the week, which is on a Thursday, with what we think are going to be your favourites, and then we will change it over on Sunday, depending on what you're buying. Most of the time we get it right, don't we?
Most of the time.
Most of the time, we've got a good idea of what it is you're going to get. Sometimes we are surprised, and in actual fact, we are both tipping the tulips. There's a bag of tulips that you're going to absolutely adore, so we're going to tip those to be promoted onto the favourites table by Sunday. But let's have a look. Let's see what you're going to buy.
They're not here on Sunday. I'll do the show topless.
Well, oh! that might make people not
off.
buy them. We'll see. All right, let's go straight into it, shall we? Let's bring in the Escallonia, the pink L. Now, this one was actually one of the ones, if you were watching, about a year ago, our head gardener put together a little collection of shrubs. Yeah, it was a 9 centimetre collection, 3 different shrubs, and it was the head gardener's selection, and the Escallonia actually appeared within that little collection. So I just say that because I think that gives you an idea of what an amazing plant this is to have in your garden. But check out, I mean, you just have to look at it, don't you, to know that that's an amazing plant.
It is, and the good thing is, Bex, as well, my other half, John, has got one of these in his front garden. And he bought one for his mum, Jenny, last year, who's got one in her front garden.
Oh, wow.
And both of them have been absolutely fantastic. And it's... I'm being nagged here. Where's the video, then? Yeah, I need to take more pictures. But John's flowered beautifully in the front garden this year. We had it in a pot, quite a large pot. And, well, the first thing to say about it, Bex, it's evergreen, so it looks good all the year through. So even in winter time, you've got that lovely greenness, that green, healthy look of that lovely glossy foliage all the way through the winter. And then it has this sort of main flowering period. It doesn't want to come out the pot, does it?
It doesn't. It's going to be so rooty. I can't get it out of the pot. Yeah, I can see roots coming out the base there.
But, yeah, I mean, you can do it. Go on, Bex, you can do it. You can do it. But, yeah, and then it has this sort of big flowering period in the spring, which lasts for a long, long time. And I've noticed it had a slight fragrance to it as well. And I'll tell you what, the pollinating insects went mad for it.
They love it, don't they?
They love it. The bees, the butterflies. Oh. Whoa! No wonder you couldn't get it out the pot.
There you go. Look at that.
That's insane. Look at it.
Amazing quality. Look at those roots.
I mean, that is gagging to get into the ground.
Absolutely.
That's so needs to get in the ground. And now is such a brilliant time to plant now because the soil is really warm. It's had, well, it'd be warmer in other years, but I mean, even this year, it's a lot warmer now than it's going to be come March, that's for sure. So the minute you get this in the ground, within a week or two, in fact, if you was to plant this, say, this Saturday, and then a week later, you give it a little tug, you already notice it's already rooted itself into the ground. And
this is why autumn is such an amazing time to plant, isn't it? I know a lot of people, and there's so many people that go, oh, I'll just do it in spring. And we should do it now, shouldn't we? We should get it in the ground, get it rooted, and then next year you'll have a bigger, better plant. We know that this one's going to be super popular. It's evergreen, it has these gorgeous flowers, it's a pollinator paradise. It ticks a lot of boxes. It's just £9.99 a day. That's amazing for a plant of that size in that 2 litre pot, so well established.
That is a brilliant plant.
Use the code to get that £5 saving though. It's a third off the price. It's YGTV 4224. There's a little box when you place your order. It says, do you have an offer code? That's the code you need to put into there. We're going to move on though. We're going to whip through a few things as quick as we can. Bromeliads. This one is super. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. When this flowers, it's so pretty, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Again, John, my other half's got these in the front garden, which we got from YouGarden a couple of 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, Fascicularia bicolour, and it's called bicolour because in the middle you get this really weird flower or inflorescence with those kind of, the leaves turn this sort of blood red, and then the flower is this electric blue in the middle. I mean, it looks like something out of space. I mean, it is so weird, so bizarre. This grows in really hot, sunny, well-drained positions. Does really well in poor soils. I did actually see this growing on a tree years ago. Well, not that many years ago. We went to a place called Port Miriam.
Yeah.
And there's like an abandoned garden that comes down from Port Miriam, and there was a really stunted oak tree. And it was all covered in ferns, but also all the branches were smothered in these Fascicularia. It was absolutely bizarre. But I mean, it's a tough plant. I mean, it's the same sort of family as pineapples. You can tell by the leaves. It's got that similar kind of look. But yeah, I mean, it just, when it flowers, is so knockout.
Does it get much bigger?
No. It gets to about that height. But what it does, it spreads. So it will kind of form like a hummock, like a sort of, a little sort of bushy sort of clump of sort of spiny leaves. Sometimes it has sort of 3 or 4 or 5 flowers in kind of each sort of flower head. And yeah, and it will, and it's long lived. It will live for years and years.
And when does
years.
it flower? Sorry.
Mine flowered, if I remember rightly, mine flowered about mid-summerish, mid sort of second half of summer.
You've got tropical planting. I mean, it's hardy, so it doesn't need any extra looking after, but it definitely looks a bit tropical. It would work beautifully in a tropical planting scheme, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. But just two things it will ask you for is really acute drainage. It hates being in wet soil.
Okay.
So don't put it in wet soil.
Don't plant it in my clay soil then.
No, and as much sun as possible, a really nice sunny position. But other than that, I'll tell you, it's not fussed about poor soil. Does quite well in four soils. It does quite well in poor soils. But if you want to grow something that's easy, again, that's evergreen, and that has the most bizarre attractive flowers, grow this. Honestly, you'd be blown away by it.
It's amazing. It's a half-price deal as well here. We are saving £10 on this one. It's just $9.99 or $8.99 if you're in the club. If you've got any of those £5 vouchers to use, maybe you want to use it on that one, because that's going to bring that price down to $4.99 if you're in the club. That would be amazing. And it can flower any time between sort of June and October. Love that one. Definitely a top tip here. The next one we're going to take you on to, we've got a couple of different types of alliums for you, but this one is Allium Bubble Bath. Now, I like this one because this is one of the longest flowering of the alliums, isn't it?
Yeah, this is kind of more like a sort of a rooty kind of allium, like I'm not sure if it's a rhizome, but it's not like the bulb that you plant. This is actually, when you get it out the pot, you'll see it's kind of rooted in the pot like a normal perennial.
Yeah.
I've grown a couple of the types of these in my old garden, which I didn't bring with me to where I am now. But they're good as well because they flower a lot later in the year than the normal alliums. So normal alliums will be about May time.
Yeah, it's late spring, aren't they?
Yeah. But I mean, these will flower kind of sort of later in the season for you.
And I like the kind of fuzziness that you've got to the balls of the colours there. They've got this lovely sort of fuzzy touch to them, and a lighter purple as well, a more sort of lilac-y colour.
Yeah, more lilac-y, and these are sort of generally lower as well. They don't grow as tall as the kind of the allium bulbs you normally think in a planting. In fact, these almost remind me a little bit of chives, which are the same family. So if you've ever seen a bunch of chives sort of flowering, these are kind of very similar in nature, the way they flower, but they will flower. I mean, when I first grew these, they flowered probably again the second half of summer, mid to the second half of summer, long after the sort of the normal alliums had already gone over. Yeah,
and they do seem to last a bit longer as well.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, you get 15, 20, 30 flowers on one clump of these once they get established, and they come back year after year after year. And again, all they ask of you, plant them somewhere really sunny and well drained, and they're not particularly fussed about soil either. They don't need a very rich soil. They tend to grow. Well, we planted some on a garden that we designed for a lady on our estate, and we planted 3 clumps of these, and her soil is really sandy, really well drained, quite poor, but it's full sun, well drained, and they come back every year, and they look stunning for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, it is a well-established one. It's in that 2-litre pot. That's correct. I was just double-checking. It is in that 2-litre pot, so get that planted now. It's not going to do anything right now other than get its roots established in the ground. And then next year, you'll start seeing those beautiful shoots come up, and hopefully you will get, because it's in a 2-litre pot, it's a nice big one, you're going to get so many flowers on there. And of course, you're going to keep getting multiples of those over the years because it will come back for you. It is a bargain price for you. It's £7.99. It is a £12 saving. So that one is the one that's called Bubble Bath, but we do actually have another one available for you, and it's called Lavender Bubbles. But it's the same price, same deal, in the 2-litre pot. It's just the darker purple coloured flowers on here, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, they do come in slightly different colours, but, these are just sort of slightly different alliums to what you would normally grow, and they're definitely worth growing, and they will come back year after year after year after year. They need no fuss at all, and also like normal alliums, leave the flower heads on afterwards, because when they fade, the actual structure of the faded flower looks good, just being left in its own right.
So it's up to you which one you will go for. Maybe you want to get both of those. They would look great actually planted together, because you've got the darker purple and the lighter purple of the Bubble Bath. It's 561207, 2-litre pot, £12 saving again, same deal. Just make sure you use the code to access that saving. The next one is the Camellia. It is one of your favourites from last week, and we have kept the deal because it really was one of the favourites. So it's back again. Camellia Yuletide, evergreen and gorgeous.
And I've just noticed something as well. Look, already.
Yeah, look at the buds.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's
this
about
one.
to open. So good.
That's already got colour on it. Like, I mean, that's a little bit early, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because we're calling it Yuletide. I mean,
well, they can start flowering at some point in November normally, don't they?
Yeah.
Sort of November and into December. This is why it's called Yuletide, because obviously you get the flowers over Christmas.
But again, it's a real stunner, this one, because you've got the evergreen foliage, like the escallonia that we were talking about. You've got evergreen foliage that looks good all the year through. It's got this nice sort of structure to it as well. It's quite slow growing, quite compact. But what I like about it, personally myself, I mean, earlier in the year we had one at the other end of the scale, the femme fatale, with those huge
I love that one.
double flowers. But what I like about this one, it's the other end of the scale. It's a single flower, and it's the simplicity of the flower with those yellow stamens in the middle that I think really make this such an attractive, beautiful plant. And it's the cheek and audacity of this plant to throw out such a stunningly beautiful flower in the middle of winter.
Middle of winter.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It is incredible, and it really lifts your mood as well. And we've got another winter flowering shrub that we're going to go to later on called Chemonanthus, and these two would make great bedfellows because they flower at a very similar time.
And they both want ericaceous compost.
Yeah,
as well,
they both
don't they?
do best in that soil. So, I mean, if in your garden already you grow rhodies, azaleas, all that kind of thing, and they're glossy, they're green, they're happy, you can put this straight in the ground in the same areas as those. But if you find those sort of things struggle, this makes a fantastic pot plant. All you need is to use ericaceous compost. It will thrive in a pot, and it will live for year after year after year in a pot. And this will flower for a good 4 to 6 weeks. And if it eventually, I mean, it is slow growing, but if you ever do want to prune it, always prune camellias immediately after they're finished flowering, because the new growth they make then will give you flower the following year.
Very nice. And honestly, when you look in detail at the plant that we've got here, which is very much like the one that you will receive, you will see how many buds are on this. Unlike the, alliums, for example, that you're going to be waiting next year to see the flowers from, this is absolutely raring to grow. It's got an amazing root system and multiple buds on there. You're going to have so many flowers in just a few weeks' time. So I definitely want you to get hold of that one while we've got this amazing deal. It's a £15 saving. It's $19.99 or it's $17.99 in the club. Comes in that gorgeous 15cm pot. The item number is 510818. Do grab hold of that, because obviously that's our second week we've had that running for, so I'm not sure if it'll be back next week, so now's the time. It's just a nice extra or a different take on Christmas, isn't it? Like, I've got the holly standards, and they're beautiful. I love bringing those out at Christmas time, but this is just something a little bit different for you to have that have those lovely Christmas colours. Don't forget, you're going to get your free bulbs included with every single order as well, which is a brilliant free gift this week. It's a bag of 25 of our Narcissus tete-a-tete. Stu's shouting at me, we don't need to give those away. It's absolutely true. Now is the time where we would sell the majority of those. We don't actually need to give those away as a free gift, but they are your free gift this week. So do use that code to make sure you're getting that. And of course, if you place multiple orders, you'll get multiple bags of your free gift. We don't limit it to one per person. It depends on how many orders you place. All right, the final thing on our favourites table, and I love this one. I don't have this one, but I absolutely, when I was going through the show plan for this week, this is the one that I sort of fell in, along with the tulips, this is the one I fell in love with.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like I got that one as
I
well.
got this one
too. I had got this one. I've got a slightly different variety called Thalictrum delavei, but this is a real knockout perennial.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's quite a good perennial because it's quite early flowering in the season as well. So it kind of fills that gap between kind of the main sort of summer borders, kicking, say, from July through to August, September. Gets to about a metre and a half tall on really thick, wiry stems. Has really great foliage as well. Really lovely, attractive foliage that looks magnificent.
I love those stamens.
Yeah, and then you get these big heads, these big kind of brash, gorgeous heads of flower. And mine flowers for about 6 weeks. So, I mean, when you look at the ones in front of us here, you're probably not looking very impressive at the moment. But, I mean, basically, they're doing their autumn thing now. So, look, you can see there. Fantastic root system on those. Look at that gorgeous root system. So these are really, really well-established plants.
Yeah, look, I know it doesn't look like much right now, but the gardeners, you understand, don't you? There is obviously the thing that perennials do at this time of year, but this is why we're bringing them to you at an amazing price, first of all, because obviously any other time of the year you'd be paying a lot more for them. But now is a fantastic time to get these home, get them planted, get them in the ground, allow them to get that root structure, that system in place, and then next next year, they've got a head start over anything else that you're planting in springtime.
And they will flower, Bex. These will flower next year. I think these were flower stems here already that we've cut off earlier in the year. And these will flower for you next year. They'll get to about a metre and a half tall. And they're definitely a perennial worth growing. They're bone hardy.
Yep.
They're drought tolerant. They don't need staking. They come back year after year after year. They have gorgeous autumn yellow coloured foliage. And then about 2 to 3 months worth of these fabulous purple flowers. And they have these lovely seed heads as well that develop afterwards. So if you want a perennial, so easy to grow, so attractive, and also loved by pollinating insects, just go for these because they're knockout.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I fell in love with this. I definitely want to get some of these in whatever garden I end up in next. 560256 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Thalictrum Meadow Rue. It's 9 centimetre pots and you're going to get 3 of those. Little reminder just of those earlier ones on the favourites table. Escallonia Pinkel. I mean, this is an absolutely beautiful one. Gorgeous panicles of flowers that you get on there. And it's an evergreen shrub as well. You saw how rooty the one the one we've got in the potting shed is. So a very high quality plant for you, and we've taken a third off the price there. 510545 is the item number. And then, of course, the weird and wonderful. We know how much we love the weird and wonderful. Something a little bit different in your garden. The bromeliad fascicularia bicolour hardy in the 1 litre pot. It's big already. I definitely want to get one of those, so please add that one into your baskets. It's fully hardy, not anything that you need to worry about over winter. 560100 is the item number. $8.99 if you're in the club, of course. Now let's give you just a quick look at these two. These were the two that we picked, weren't they? So we had 4 up at the back there, and we were like, which 2 should we bring forward? I brought you one because I've got it in my garden, and Adam's brought you one because he's got it in his garden.
Yeah, and there was only going to be one to start. We were just going to have the hibiscus on, but I said, Stu, can we put the lilac on as well?
Let's do it.
He said, go on, and we can put that on as well.
Well, we're going to start with the hibiscus marina. Now, I absolutely adore hibiscus because it's a very kind of tropical-looking flower, but also it's a really nice late-flowering one. I mean, this is just... so I planted mine last year. I got a few flowers this year. I've got it in a pot, got it in a nice sunny spot. I've got lots, got a decent amount of flowers. I'm waiting for mine to fully establish. But once it does, it gets loads of flowers on it, doesn't it?
And you say tropical looking hardy. I mean, these are hardy down to about -20, -22. So these are really, really tough shrubs. Just one thing to point out, when you plant these next spring, don't panic if you don't see leaves on yours till at least middle or the end of May. A lot of people think they've died over the winter, but they're one of the last things in the garden to break into leaf. But I tell you what, the compensation for that is they're also one of the last shrubs to flower in the season as well, and they bring you colour right the way from midsummer, late summer into autumn. I mean, what we October the 17th, 18th today, and this one, look,
flowering.
Still got a little flower on top even now, in middle of October, which is insane. Look at that. Even though the leaves are turning yellow and dropping off.
I love that centre of it as well. Beautiful? The way that it sort of protrudes from the centre of those petals. It is quite amazing.
It's almost a bit like the middle of a hollyhock, isn't it?
Yeah,
That sort of like hollyhock centre to it. These are nice upright growing shrubs as well. When you see one of these established, they're sort of a goblet shape, aren't they?
They naturally form that, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So it means that there's not much looking after or pruning or shaping that you need to do.
No, I mean, if you want to, if they get a little bit too tall, you can just trim them back in the spring. They will flower on new wood as well. So they'll flower on sort of new and old wood. So yeah, you can just trim them down in the spring. They'll shoot. They'll flower the same year for you. Great in a pot. Great for sort of the middle of a border, back of a border. Make a nice specimen plant in the middle of a lawn. But at the end of the day, these are. I mean, they're a stunningly beautiful colour. Long flowering period. They flower late in the season. They're very hardy. And just a really easy shrub to grow that just gives so much drama, and they're long lived as well.
Yeah, this is why I went for this one. I love the colour combination. I like the fact that I'm going to have it in my garden probably for decades. And I love the fact that it's a transitional plant, that it gives me flowers right at the end of the season. I've got mine planted, as you saw in that video, alongside where all my dahlias are planted. So I'm getting all that colour against the wall of my house right at the end of the season. And they're still all flowering beautifully right now. They're going to give up soon. 500078 is the item number if you want to get hold of the hibiscus marina in the 19 centimetre pot, so a really nicely established one. Oh, apparently we need to wish Rocky well. Is he not very well at the minute? Oh, no. All right, get well soon, Rocky. Keep us updated, Neil. We do love Rocky. We love all our pets, don't we? I was looking at new dogs the other day. I know, I want another one. I got in and I was so close. There's some that are available, and I was like, should we go? Should we go?
Breed?
Well, I've got a Shih Tzu poodle.
Right.
They call them the teddy bear dog because they do look like fluffy little teddy bears, and I love him so much, and I feel like he needs a friend because they're very social animals, incredibly social animals. I'm the alpha. He follows me literally everywhere. He needs a friend. He needs a friend.
Is that the excuse you're giving yourself?
He needs a friend.
He needs a friend. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with your feelings.
So I might be getting another dog.
It's just only for the dog.
No, it's purely for him.
Purely for him.
Absolutely. He needs a friend.
You're going to sacrifice yourself to get another dog.
I need another baby in my life. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go on to Adam's pick of the show, which is the beautiful Madame Lemoyne. Now, this is the Syringa vulgaris. So this is a big lilac, right?
It can
grow that big.
Get to be big. So we were talking about the hibiscus, which gives you colour right at the end of the season. Lilacs flower for you April into May time, sort of pretty much up to the Chelsea Flower Show time.
It's not just flowers, though, is it?
Oh, fragrance.
Fragrance, yeah. Come on.
I love that month in spring where almost every street you go down, you see lilacs flowering. You see them in so many colours, don't you? This one, Madame Lemoyne, this is just divine. You've got these double flowers, and the fragrance on these, wow, the fragrance is so intense, it's so gorgeous, it's so sweet. And these are just huge, great big sort of cone-shaped heads of flower on these. I mean, absolutely smothered all over the shrub that lasts for about 4 to 5 weeks.
I love a white flower.
Yeah.
I've really turned on to white flowers. I've been saying it a lot these last couple of weeks because we've had several white flowers on. I used to just like, and I still do, don't get me wrong, the rainbow, just a mishmash. I don't do any kind of planning. I like that mishmash of colour all over the place. But white flowers, they're elegant, sophisticated, and actually work so beautifully in the rainbow of colour because they really highlight everything else, don't they?
They do, Bex, as well. Yeah, I mean, they don't clash with anything, do
No.
they? You can put white anywhere, and just imagine a beautiful day in May when you've got that fabulous blue sky, and you've just got this statuesque lilacs.
They look like clouds, don't they?
Smothered in those white flower heads with fragrance. Wow, this is definitely one to try.
Well, it's in that 17cm pot. Oh, yeah, I can do it. Let me just bring that one out so you can see the roots on there. Oh, yeah, nice and rooty, well established. This is why we like to try and take things out of the pot so you can see that it's a really gorgeously established plant for you. £7 saving there. It's only £12.99. Get that in the garden. You'll get some flowers next year, won't you?
Yeah.
And it will just delight you for many, many years. They're so long-lived, lilacs. And, of course, you're going to get that saving by entering the code YGTV4224. Adam's holding the free gift for you because that is what's going to be included in your basket when you use that code, which is our Narcissus Tete-a-Tete. 25 bulbs in that bag. Even if you just buy the compost today, which, by the way, has postage included, so no postage cost here. So even if you're just looking for an order of compost, you put that code in to get the saving, you will get that bag of Narcissus Tete-a-Tete. And this is the time that we see a massive surge on our compost sales because people are people are doing seed sowing right now, aren't they? Getting loads of seeds ready to go in the greenhouses over winter. Maybe it's just adding that extra layer into the borders, helping to, establish those perennials that we're putting in. Maybe it's planting bulbs out. Maybe it's that winter and autumn bedding. This is the time to grab hold of it. We see 2 massive surges on the compost sales in spring and in autumn. Of course, all year round as well, but these are the surge times. Sean's happily potting up everything in his garden there, as you can see. It's 100125 if you want to get hold of some compost today. And because it's postage included, it's a really good way of getting multiples of that free gift. And I think a lot of people are going to probably try and do that because of the free gift this time. Or it could just be the way that you tip your order over the £40. Maybe you just want a couple of plants today and a bag of compost. That's the way to get you over your £40. Right, let's take you on, shall we? Because we've got our bulb offer. I'm so excited to talk about this one. But this is our 3 for 2 mix and match that's coming up for you here. So what you have to do is choose the 3 bags of bulbs that you want, and it doesn't matter which ones. It could be 3 completely different ones. It could be 3 of the same one. Whichever one is cheapest will be the free one, basically. But any 3 you want, put them in your basket, enter the code, and one will pop up as being free. Let's start off with bluebells. Yeah. I really like bluebells in my garden, and they spread, and they're lovely because they can cope in so many different positions. They like sun, they don't mind shade. They're really easy, aren't they?
They're fragrant as well. That's the good thing.
Of course.
Yeah, beautiful fragrance. And they've changed the name again. name because I've always known them as Hyacinthoides Scilla non-scripta, and now they've called them Scilla nutans, and I thought that's not right.
I was confused this morning.
I was getting confused.
You always learn something though. This is the thing.
Just in the last 2 or 3 years, the amount of plant name changes has been dramatic.
See, this is why I just stick with the common names, because then I can't get confused.
Yeah, that's
Bluebells.
true. Although bluebells in Scotland are something else. But yeah, these are knockout. I mean, great for sort of damp areas, shady areas, great for planting under trees, great for planting in grass. In fact, really, you can plant bluebells anywhere where they get cover during the summer. So it's kind of weird, because sometimes you can see these huge, really open moorland areas, and you see bluebells flowering there in full sun, no trees, nothing at all. But they grow between bracken, and then the bracken grows up above them and shields them in the summer, and they can survive under that bracken because they stay moist, they stay shaded. These are really our harbingers of spring arriving properly. These are the time you hear the first cuckoo. These are the times you see those gorgeous yellow fields of rape flowering. These are the times when you
I love seeing those big fields.
Yeah,
the yellow. Oh, they're so pretty.
I know, it's gorgeous.
That fills me with joy, seeing those fields.
Yeah, well, there's a place that we go to near Swaffham. I'll remember it. It's called something Wood, Wayland's Wood. Wayland Wood. No, Wayland Woods, because I always say to John, it sounds like some American interviewer or something. You know,
Wayland Wood.
You're going to be interviewed by Wayland Woods. But yeah, these woods called Wayland Woods.
Wood reporting.
Yeah, and
I get it.
They have the most mind-blowing bluebells that I've ever seen, but also they have wild orchids flowering in between at the same time. And a couple of years back, we got to the edge of the bluebell wood, and just behind it was a farmer's field full of yellow rape. So you had all this sea of blue with this yellow behind.
Nice.
And it was a really blue day. Whoa, it was magnificent. So, these are so easy to grow as well. All bluebells ask of you is plant them somewhere nice and damp with lots of sort of organic material in the soil. If you think of them as being a woodlandy plant, so they kind of like to flower where they've got a little bit of dappled shade when they first flower, and then they like to kind of be sort of covered or shaded for the rest of the summer. So that's the sort of place they really thrive. But easy to grow. They'll spread, they'll divide, they'll spread by growing extra bulbs, they'll spread by seeding as well. But we all know bluebells, they're magnificent and they're so worth a go, and they're so beguiling and so charming when you see them flowering between other things.
Nice and easy to plant out as well, because they're not massive bulbs that you get there. Bag of 20 is what you are putting into your basket. If you want 3 bags, you'll get 60 of those. One of those bags will be absolutely free, but it is mix and match. So bear with us before you start putting those in your basket. You might want to add in some of the others. And I definitely want you to add in these. I am in love with this particular mix here. I grew so many tulips last year. I did not grow this mix. This one was brand new to me. I don't know how long we've had it, but this one's brand new to me. Look at those.
That is stunning, isn't it?
Oh my word.
This is definitely a mix to squawk about, isn't it? Because I mean, these really are mind-blowing.
I want these.
Look at the colour range on these Bex. I mean, green. Look, green tulips.
I've never brought these to you, but Sue's telling me these are not new. We've had these for a while, but I have never sold these. I've never talked about these. I can't believe we've never brought these to you before. Look at the colours, look at the ruffles.
Look at the shape. Oh. They're just magnificent, aren't they? The colour range, Bex, is mind-blowing, isn't it? They remind me of... who's that guy who sort of paints... there's a famous painter who's kind of paints flowers like this. That's what it reminds me of. You know when you go to sort of one of those stately homes and you see one of those really old pictures?
Absolutely, like Dutch master paintings.
That's it, a Dutch masterpiece. And sometimes they paint roses or... I can't think of this painter, but he paints flowers just like that, or it reminds me when you look through one of those really old botanical books with the photo plates, and you turn over and you see these perfect kind of tulips or roses or something. These really are so charming, exquisite, beautiful.
Absolutely adore these. They're mine. I want those. They are definitely going into my basket, and I'm probably going to buy 3 bags of those, because I just think a whole sea of those beautifully shaped and beautifully coloured tulips will be the draw. Those will be the ones that, it'll just draw people into your garden, because they'll see those and be blown away by them. I'm losing my words because I think they're so pretty. It's 600429. Please add those into your basket. I want to promote this tulip onto the favourites table. I don't know what we're going to remove move, but I really want that to be promoted onto the favourites table. That one is so gorgeous. Stu's going, no, we're going to keep them all together. If that's one of the top sellers, it's going over there. I'm saying it right now.
Safety going topless.
He's like, no, it's not. 600429 is the item number if you'd like to go for those. The parrot mix of tulips. The next one we've got for you is a weird and wonderful one. This is the oxalis, the versicolor. These are these amazing trumpets of these striped candy cane flowers. They're incredible.
Yeah. They remind me of, was it those things you used to have outside barber shops?
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of rotate.
Yeah.
They kind of got that sort of coloration to them. These are really, really weird. I remember we have done these once before. And when they said oxalis or oxalis, I always remember oxalis having leaves like clover. They normally have like clover type leaves, and they're called sorrel. But this one really bucks the trend because it's even got a different shaped leaf. The flowers are just phenomenal. I mean, when they're closed up, the buds look amazing, but as they unfurl, you've got this sort of swirling. So it's like that ice cream as well.
Raspberry Ripple.
Raspberry Ripple ice cream, isn't it? It's got that same kind of look to it.
Yellow at the base there as well. Super interesting.
These are really interesting, really beguiling, really unusual,
They
really
need a little bit of protection, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Grow these in a pot because the bulbs, they come from South Africa, so the bulbs aren't winter hardy. So if they freeze hard, you've lost them. So grow them in a pot, enjoy them outside in the summer, and in the winter time, just bring them in somewhere frost-free, keep them dry. Stick them in the back of the garage, in perhaps a cold conservatory or a spare room or somewhere, and they'll just sit quietly under the compost till spring. Bring them out again, water and feed them. They'll come back and they'll gradually spread and divide and flower. They're only about sort of 4 or 5 inches tall, so they're only sort of diddy little things, but they're just one of those really weird, unusual sort of bulbs. It's
perfect
really,
pot plant,
perfect
basically.
pot plant, yeah, but really worth the effort.
Yeah, definitely, and it's part of our 3 for 2 mix and match. So we've got one more of these to show you in the 3 for 2. So you might want to add 3 individuals. You might want to add 6. It's up to you. Basically, it's 3 for 2, so one bag will be free. The lowest price one, the cheapest one, will be the free one. The next one, and I can't believe we're still talking about the Caribbean lily. It's sold out, but so we seem to have some more stock. It's back now. We did say we got them back in. We were getting them back in stock mid October, and we are here now. Adam's going to take them out the back because these are big bulbs, okay? So and these don't want to be planted too deep either. This is the top tip here. Normally, what we'd say with a bulb is to plant it 2 or 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb. Actually, with this one, we want to plant this just below the soil surface. In fact, I'd probably be planting it with some of the tips poking out of the ground.
Yeah, I agree with you there,
probably
Bex.
about there.
Yeah, or even a slightly bit higher. I mean, you could just literally just have the neck of the bulb kind of poking up. But I took it out of the packet because I wanted to show you already. Look, already forming a leaf there, already starting to grow away. These we do give our winter hardy guarantee to, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So
loads of our regulars got hold of these last year. You were all making us very jealous with your pictures this year. Amanda, let's have a look at Amanda's story. So she took pictures of this as it was coming out and into bloom. And this journey that you go on with this is what we kept talking about whenever we were bringing the Caribbean lily in. That journey of how the buds open outwards into the centre, that's just incredible. And that's going to happen over a period of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah,
until you get the full effect.
Yeah, I mean, they call them sort of Peruvian lily. They're not from Peru, actually. They're actually from sort of, I think, southern Europe and North Africa. That's the sort of part of the world they originate from. But they grow so well in the UK. And I mean, you sent loads of pictures of these. I think half a dozen of you at least sent pictures of these earlier in the year. Because, as I say, Bex and I, we didn't buy these last year.
No.
So
I've got them this year, though. I still haven't planted them. I haven't planted them. I've got to get out and do some planting. That's all right. I've got plenty of time in November. I'll get out in November and do all the planting. But yeah, these are going to be growing in my garden. I'm going to make you jealous with my pictures, and I'm going to do exactly what Amanda's done. I'm going to take pictures and do that entire journey.
I'll tell you where they'd look good as well. They'd look good near your Miner's Merlot, because seeing those kind of those blue flowers and those leaves next to the sort of the backdrop of that Miner's Merlot with that dark foliage, that could look really, really good. But yeah, I'm going to go, because I've got an afternoon off after this with a bit of paperwork to do. So when I get home, I am going to order some of these. I'm going to order some of the parrot tulips. I definitely want those. Yeah, there's a few on here today that really, really caught my eye. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I do say I'm going to order stuff and I don't. I forget. I get home, it goes out of my head. But these today, Bex, I mean, these parrot tulips, I think for me, out of this bulb selection, that the Peruvian lily and the tulips, whoa, they are just amazing bulbs.
Well, you need to make your own decisions. That's our choices. But what are you going to go for? Could that be your 3 for 2? Get one of the Caribbean lily, get one of the oxalis, and get one of the tulips. One one of those will be absolutely free. And of course, remember, because you're using the code YGTV4224, you're actually going to get 2 free bags of bulbs, because you're going to get your daffodils included in there as well, the Narcissus tete-a-tete. So it's a brilliant time to be placing orders right now, because we're bringing you the right things to be planting in your garden right now. So 630045 if you want to go for the Caribbean lily. It's on a 3 for 2, so just choose which other ones you want to go in there. Let's just give you a quick reminder, because it sounds like we've got a couple of popular ones. The Escalonia, the pink L in the 2 litre pot. We are saving a third off the price here. It's a £5 saving, and it's in the 2 litre pot. So £9.99 or £8.99 if you are in the club. Use the code to get your discount. Bromeliad. I knew this one would be popular. Of course it is, because it's just a bit different. Not everybody's got this in their garden, have they? It's not a standard, it's not a classic, it's something just weird and wonderful.
I've seen this growing in some RHS gardens. There's one in Essex, I can't remember the flipping name of it now.
I'm not surprised, though. Look at it.
But it grows in this huge rock garden, and it's formed these huge, great big clumps of this. And when you go past it, sometimes there's 5, 6, 7, 8 of these flowers all appearing at one time, and it's one of those plants you've got to get up to it. It's like, what is that? What is that? You just want to have a look at it.
I'm starting to think of Christmas now, and I'm starting to think, hopefully my mum is not watching, but I reckon my mum might quite like that. So I'm starting to think, because it's hardy, I could get that. I could keep that at home for the next couple of months. Yeah. And that could be a wonderful Christmas present.
And that's a lot of plant, isn't it, for a little pot as well?
I think she'd quite like that.
Yeah, it's not a little diddy one. That's really on its way already.
All right, maybe you're thinking about Christmas presents. Maybe now's the time to start thinking. I like plants for Christmas.
Yeah, because you see, the thing is that is going to be something that's going to give your mum pleasure for year after year after year after year, isn't it? It's not like something you're just going to enjoy for a little while and then you put it away, or or it's like a bunch of flowers that only lasts a couple of weeks.
It always looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Mum, if you're watching, forget that you've just heard that, all right? Right, let's move on, shall we? Because we've got a whole table. Right, what are we calling this, Stu? It's the bargain table, isn't it? This is an absolute bargain table.
Becca's bargains.
Bex's bargains. Let's go through, because we've got some amazing prices on this table. We brought a couple of these to you before, but we haven't brought them at this price. I'm pretty sure we've got the lowest price on everything that we're bringing you here. So first of all, we're starting off with the Imperata, the red barren bloodgrass. You're going to get 3 of them, and they are £9.97. I worked that out to be £3.33 each, thereabouts. You are saving a huge amount, so yeah, these should normally be a tenner each, thereabouts. So it's buy 1, get 2 free is the deal. Have we lost a pot? Oh no, you've taken it out.
Just want to show you the root.
He's taken it out so you can see how rooty these are. These are gorgeous, aren't they? I love grasses. These are amazing, and these are almost like a made-up grass, because you tell a young person or a young gardener, you say to them, I don't know, you got a little girl or a little boy or something, and you say to them, you can get grass that's red, and they'll go, no, grass is green. What are you talking about? Say, don't be silly. That's not possible. Grass. We all know grass is green. This is. I mean, when you say this is red, this is red. I mean, there's no halfway house of it. This is a really remarkable grass. I've got this, again, I don't want to sound like I've got this. I have got this. I've got this too. And I've got a little rectangular board in the middle of my lawn, and on one side of it I've got this grass, and over the last 2 or 3 years it's gradually spread down the side of the border. Nice. And it starts off in the spring with just little shoots coming through, and by about mid to late summer, it's probably about 15 inches or so tall, and it's just these fiery red tips of the grass, but it's still sort of limey green further down. That's what I like about it. You've got sort of 2 colours on one blade of grass, and that contrast is phenomenal. It's a real amazing grass. If you thought grass was boring, if you thought you couldn't get colour growing grasses, well, I tell you, grow this. And if you know the Festuca glauca, the blue kind of grass, grow that with this. And because the Festuca stays a bit shorter as well, so you could actually have this behind and have that gorgeous colour combination. Growing in front. So you literally, you could have a grass that is as blue and a grass that is red as red, growing side by side, and you can create almost that sci-fi kind of look. In fact, I would even think about possibly planting this bloodgrass in conjunction with the fascicularia as well, because it's got that same sort of spiky look to it. And when you've got the red of the flowers. The red of the fascicularia and the red of this. So I think they'd be sort of quite good bedfellows. In fact, the Festuca, that bromeliad, and this.
Oh, that'd be a marriage made in heaven, wouldn't it?
Oh, my word.
Do they call it a menage a trois?
Yeah.
That's what that
There we
would
go.
be.
There's got a lovely menage a trois right there. 560017 is the item number if you'd like to take hold of one of our absolute bargains for you. £9.97. 3 of them. We know planting in threes is the best way to get the most natural look in your garden.
Definitely.
So, yeah, go to YouGarden.com to place your order. Of course, we are in the week at the moment, so you can go via the phone lines if you do actually like speaking to real human beings, which is always a nice thing to do. Let's move on, though. We've got our Chemonanthus, the Praecox, the Winter Sweet. Now, you were saying this is a good bedfellow for the camellia.
Yeah, definitely.
Work nicely together, but also this one wants its ericaceous compost as well.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be sort of devil's advocate a bit now, because if I'm going to swap places with you sitting at home and you're looking at that and thinking, what's that rat bit in the thing? So all the leaves have got holes in. They're all going yellow. That just looks a manky old shrub to me. Well, it's autumn. This is what it's doing. It's starting to drop its leaves. So, you know, the leaves when they're all summer, the leaves are getting their autumn colour.
And lovely leaves as well. You can see how luscious and a sort of light limey green colour they are. So they're going to be really beautiful when they're in leaf. But it's actually in winter time, once it's dropped its leaves, that this really does come into its own.
That's when it comes to it. So do you think these leaves almost look a bit like citrus leaves, don't they?
They do a bit,
sort of
yeah.
Orange and lemony kind of leaves. But, oh, goodness me, this late winter, so sort of after Christmas time, sort of February, late January, February time, it gets smothered in these incredible flowers.
Look at those. They're incredible. And anything that flowers on bare stems, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, and the flowers literally sort of come straight out the stems. They're what they call sort of sessile flowers, so they flower without stems. The fragrance of these is absolutely gorgeous. The garden I was at yesterday...
Winter Sweet, right?
Yeah, Winter Sweet, yeah, exactly. I was working at a garden yesterday on the outskirts of Bishop Stortford. It's a garden I've been going to for years, and there's a huge one of these in the front garden, and every year when I go there, sort of February time, the fragrances on a winter's day is knockout.
So it's the sort of thing that, I mean, how big will it get? Could you cut stems off this and bring them indoors and add that fragrance in?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've actually, when I've worked there, I've actually cut some stems off and taken them home and put them in the vase.
Oh,
and
nice.
they really fill the room with incredible fragrance. And on one of those sort of quite mild winter's day, you know, sometimes when you get into February, you get a blue day, you get a southwesterly wind, and you can get up to sort of 15, 16 degrees,
can't
you?
Those days.
And you can just start to feel the heat of the sun coming back again.
Yeah.
You'll hear the first sort of bees sort of buzzing around, and they'll make a beeline for this because it's that sort of pollen that it's producing, that nectar it's producing when there's so few other shrubs flowering. So it's a great winter flowering shrub. And then in the summer, you have these lovely, really bright sort of green leaves. I mean, in the summertime, obviously, they look a lot healthier than that, a lot greener. And it can get to a good sort of 2, 3, 4 metres tall.
Wow.
But again, you can prune it down. You can just...
Well, I like that. If you've got space in a border somewhere for it to get to that size and then it gets covered in those flowers, like, that's going to be incredible. And sunny position?
Yeah, sunny position, well drained. Now, I have heard people say that it likes an acid soil, but to be honest, where this one's grown I'm talking about, that's not acid. It's not acid as far as I know.
And it flowers beautifully?
And, it's been there donkey's years. I mean, it's got a trunk on it that wide, so it's been there probably 30, 40, 50 years. And all the time, when we keep cutting it back, it reshoots, we cut it back, it reshoots. In fact, we like cutting it back because when every 2 or 3 years we cut it back and then it reshoots with lots of lovely straight stems.
Yeah.
And then in the spring, all those are covered in flowers all the way up, and also it makes nice stems to cut, to put in the vase.
I suppose where you were talking about it being a bedfellow with the camellia is obviously you'll get the flowers from the camellia sort of November, December, January, and then once that starts to fade with the flowers, the Chemonanthus is going to start to take over with that gorgeous flowering.
And there may even be a little crossover for a couple of weeks where they're both sort of flowering at the same time.
Love that. Okay, sticking. So that one is 510536. It's £9.99. So we've taken a third off the price in that 2 litre pot. So really nicely established. And just the fragrance you're going to get from that is going to be absolutely incredible. And it's all about getting that 365 days of colour, isn't it? This is definitely one of those ones that's going to flower for you in winter when not a lot of other things are going to be flowering. So it might be one you can add in so that you can force yourself to go outside into the garden and take advantage of that beautiful smell. We're going to stick with the fragrance, moving on to the next one though, because this one's called the Philadelphus, the mock orange. It's nicknamed virginal. And I think it's because these beautiful white flowers.
Pure white innocent flowers.
And Stu's saying, sorry, the prices are starting to get silly now. Here we go, £7.99 for this one. It's a half price deal, nearly. It should be it should be nearly £15 basically. It's £7.19 if you're in the club, so it's better than half price if you're in the club. Right, yeah, so Philadelphus mock orange, and it's to do with the scent that we get the mock orange from.
Yeah,
right?
this is a knockout. I haven't got this one, by the way, but many of my customers have got this growing in their garden. It's a spring flowering shrub about May time, and it's smothered in hundreds of these flowers, and really, really sweet fragrance, pure white flowers that sort of keep sort of coming over a period of weeks. I mean, they flower for a good sort of 4 to 5 weeks. A very vigorous shrub, an upright shrub, bone hardy, gets through any winter. Once it's established, it's very drought tolerant, not particularly fussed about soil, doesn't really need pruning particularly.
Tick, tick, tick. Yeah, you're ticking the boxes right now.
But what it will do, if you've got sort of quite a large space you want to fill, you know, sometimes you might have a rectangular garden and you've got that corner where sort of the border at the back meets the border on the left or the border on the right, and you just want a bit of height for that corner. This is the shrub to go for. It'll give you that height in the corner. If you want something to hide the bin store, if you want something to hide the garage wall, perhaps you've got something in your neighbour's garden that you don't want to see. This is a really good shrub.
Like a caravan.
Like a caravan, for instance, yeah. Or
not that I've got anything against caravans.
No.
There's just one parked right up against my fence at the back, and it's a bit of an eyesore.
Yeah, or it might be a window. You know, you get an overlook. You know, plant this because over sort of 4 or 5 years, this will grow up and up and up, and it needs almost no attention at all. But if it ever does get too big, all you've got to do is, as soon as it's finished flowering, cut it down to whatever height you want, and all the new shoots that come will then give you flower the following year. That's
nice.
The only thing you need to think about. But other than that, plant it, leave it, enjoy it. Beautiful leaves during the summer. You can see the leaves now still looking lovely and green. They turn a lovely sort of buttery yellow before they finally fall off the shrub for the winter. But yeah, fabulous plant. And what I'm just going to quickly do is just...
do you know, I was about to do it and then I stopped myself. Let's have a look. Hey, look at that.
Look at that. I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it? Look at that root system.
Amazing.
So,
it's
again...
the quality we bring you from YouGarden.
This isn't like a single stem cutting that we struck, say, I don't know, back in May or June. We've grown this for a good 2 or 3 years in this pot. This is a super established plant, multi-branched. I wouldn't be surprised if you get some flowers on this next year, because they start flowering, you know, quite a young age, the Philadelphus. But a real kind of traditional plant, a plant that is sort of really coming back in fashion as well, because back in the 70s and 80s they were very popular back then, and now they're coming back again because they fill a big space, easy to grow, fabulous flower and incredible fragrance.
Lovely fragrance. We are filling your gardens with colour and fragrance today here at YGTV. Here's another one for colour. Now, delphiniums. When I went to the Chelsea Flower Show a couple of years ago, I was saying we can't sell it, it's too cheap. We're doing it. When I went to the Chelsea Flower Show a couple of years ago, I absolutely fell in love with the delphiniums because the displays that they had there on the delphiniums were incredible.
How do they do it?
But this is why I like the tall ones.
Yeah, the flower spikes, those big tall spikes.
I just love the height that you can get from these lovely tall flowering plants. And what I really like about these is the way that the flowers kind of come out from the sides on these almost very thin, spindly little stems. But then they have these beautiful, flamboyant flowers on there, and I really like the way it sort of opens in succession from the base up to the top. So every day you go out and you look at it, there's something new to look at. There's another flower opening, another flower opening. They're incredible.
They are magnificent.
I adore the delphinium.
They are spectacular, and the colour range there. I mean, we're not specifying a
no,
colour,
but you'll get an amazing one. Don't matter.
Whether you get the white, whether you get the dark purple, the light purple, the blue, or that sort of pinky mauve colour. All of them are going to be impressive, and these ones are bred to be slightly shorter than the super tall ones, so you probably don't need to stake these unless you're in a really, really sort of windy location, in which case I would stake them. And I did do a bit of reading up. I think it's delphiniums. I did do a reading up on them some time back, and I think that delph, or the delphinium word, is supposed to be Greek for dolphin, because apparently some of the flower looks like the shape of a dolphin, but I've not been able to see it.
Oh, I'll have to have a look at that.
Not been able to see. I don't really see a dolphin shape.
I can't see a dolphin shape there. We'll look into it.
We'll look into it, yeah. But I mean, they really, really are spectacular plants, delphiniums. And what I just normally say to people with delphiniums is don't make them compete with other plants.
Yeah, they need a bit of space, don't they?
Give them a bit of space, because if you, I mean, you could plant them with other perennials, but plant them with other low-growing perennials. So say, for instance, plant them with ground-covered geraniums around them, or something low-growing. Don't make them compete with lupins or other tall perennials. Give them a bit of space, let light grow all the way around them. That way you'll get a clump of 5 or 6 of these really huge flower spikes that will flower for a long time. And then when they're finished flowering, cut them down to ground level, give the plant a good liquid feed, use our Blooming Fast, and if you're lucky, and chances are you will be, you'll get a second flower stem that will come up, and that will give you flower probably July into August, even September.
My top tip is make sure you've got some strulch, because I planted a few delphiniums and I did not use strulch, and they didn't grow back because the slugs and snails got them. So this is my big top tip. They're fine once they've got growing, but they do like that new growth that comes through on a delphinium. So do protect them with a bit of strulch, or grow them in a pot, but again, put some strulch in there because you want those to come back for you. 511552 is the item number. It's in that 2 litre pot, so we are talking about a nicely established one already. And look at the price on that one. This is £4.99. This is the item I want you to add into your basket anyway, but also if your order is just sitting under that £40 mark, if you're at £37 or £38 and you're paying £6.99 postage, don't do that. Add this into your basket. It'll tip you over the £40. You won't pay the postage. You'll actually be paying less by doing that. Okay, let's have a little look at the basket. What's Stu put in his basket this morning? We've got the Philadelphus, the mock orange. We've got the Escalonia in there. There's the delphinium included in there. Hang on, it says £14.90. Oh, he hasn't put the code in yet. We've got 2... Oh, have you put the code in? Okay, fine. So understood. So we've got tulip parrot mix. We've got 2 of those, and we've got a Caribbean lily. Now, I definitely said that delphinium was £4.99, didn't I? So let's enter our code, YGTV4224. Let's apply the code.
Is that our Christmas gift he's buying us on there, Bex, by the way?
Is that our Christmas gift?
Yeah, is that what he's buying us for Christmas?
Maybe Stu's buying us a Christmas present.
He's got all our favourites on there.
So look, the Philadelphus has come down to £7.99. We've saved £5 on the pink L. Delphinium has come down to £4.99. Our tulips are free, and we've got our daffodils in there as our free gift as well. There is no postage because our item subtotal is... So yeah, look, that's what that... Take the delphinium out for me, Stu. Go on, I'm going to get you to put it back in again in a minute. So £37.98, that should be showing postage. No, that should be showing postage on there. I bet if you remove the code. There we go, remove the code, look. So, our item... Oh my word, there's a problem on that basket, isn't there? Because that should say postage on there. Never mind. Anyway, but that £4.99 item would tip you over that £40. We've got an erroneous error on that particular basket, but hey, never mind.
So get ordering that basket a bit quick then.
Yeah, check it out, quick, check it out, check it out.
Can I just ask you something, Bex?
Go on.
You know it's got the total saving there, £31.98.
Yeah.
Does that include the cost of the free bulbs?
Yes, it will do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it's taken that off. Doesn't include the £6.99 postage, but it will include the cost of the free gift.
That's amazing, isn't it? That is
great saving.
Yeah.
That's why we like shopping at YGTV.
I know. Every time it kind of just blows me away when you look at that list, because you got in your head, I've got, I don't know, £50 to spend, and then you go tap, put the code in, and then it's like, oh, I thought I spent 50 quid, I've only spent 35.
So Adam's thinking here, and I quite like this, he and I think alike here.
Got another 50
my budget is, I'm going to spend 50 quid today. And this is where my mum would say that you and I are mental.
Right.
My mum's on the other side here, so you and I'd go, right, we've say 50 quid to spend, put it all in, 50 quid, saving, I'm now spending 25 quid. Well, I could buy another £25 worth of stuff. You and I think alike.
Absolutely.
My mum would say, no, you saved the £25.
Oh, no. No, the way I see it is if I'm spending £50 anyway...
I'm going to spend £50.
And the way I see it is, I've got double. Life's too short to be saving, you know.
And that's why we are in the situation we're in, Adam.
I'm getting double the plants I thought I was going to get. Happy days.
Right, let's let's move on to a new one. This one is absolutely brand new to me, but you know this one, don't you? Of course you know this one. Perovskia, Russian sage.
Or Russian sage. It actually originates, from Russia, from kind of northern parts of Russia. Stupidly hardy plant. It's never going to get killed by frost in the UK.
You'd think so, because of Russia, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And it's got really fragrant foliage. It might still be fragrant.
Just having a little sniff. I don't know.
If you sort of crush the foliage a little bit as well.
Yes.
It's it has got a bit of sort of a sagey.
It's sort of zesty
kind of fragrance. And
I like it.
It's kind of almost like a sub-shrub or a woody kind of perennial, because it comes up every year with these sort of spikes, woody sort of spikes, and then for many, many months you get these blue flowers that are really, really gorgeous.
They're really pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, loved by the pollinating insects, the bees, the butterflies, and it's got lovely silvery grey foliage as well, which is another attractive thing about it. And then all you do is at the end of the winter time or the end of the summer when it's finished, just cut it down to about 3 or 4 inches. It will sit quietly for the winter, and then next spring it will shoot up, and it will do all that in one season.
Nice.
It's also a bit like that. It's a bit like catmint, doesn't it? It's got a bit of a, sort of a catminty kind of look to it as well. But yeah, you can see that lovely sort of what they call glaucous blue or sort of silvery foliage there. Lovely upright stems, masses of blue flowers. Nothing to do with this during the summer. Just enjoy it. In fact, it is daft bone hardy as well. If you want a plant that's going to grow somewhere crazy dry and doesn't ever need watering once it's established, grow Perovskia. If you've got a really open sort of area, gravelly area, stony area, an area of really poor soil, or an area you just want something to kind of, a plant just to fill an area and you just can walk away and leave it, go for this, because this will do that really well. But if you've got a bit of waste ground that nothing else will grow on, plant Perovskia. It will love it. It will thrive. All it asks for is sun and well drained, and other than that, it's fantastic.
And it's a half-price deal today at £4.99, so get that one into your basket and save yourself a £5. Also, if you're in the club, you'll save that extra 10% discount as well there. 511497 is the item number if you would like to go for the Perovskia. I like saying that name for some reason. Perovskia.
It sounds Russian. Oh, I like that. You said it in quite a Russian way then. Yeah.
Right, let's give you a reminder. Pens and papers, if you want to make a list of any of the things that you are, thinking about buying, now's the time. Adam's going to change the table because we've got lots and lots of things to show you. We are here till 1 o'clock, by the way, so we're only a third of the way through. We've still got lots to do. Right, let's give you a reminder. Starting off with our Escallonia, the pink L, the evergreen, gorgeous shrub. Head gardener pick, this one. Plus, it's going to be one of your favourites. That's why we put it on the favourites table. £5 saving here. We've taken a third off the price. Comes in the 2-litre pot as well, and you can get an extra 10% if you are a member of our club. 510545 is the item number. Next we have the bromeliads. This is in the weird and wonderful category. And whenever we put something in a weird and wonderful category, you do love it. It is so unusual. It's a really big plant that you'd be getting as well. And of course, during the summertime, you'll get these amazing, weird looking, I mean that in the best possible way. That is a proper compliment when I say it's weird, honestly. Bright blue centre, and then those leaves turn that gorgeous red colour. We were talking about it maybe being a great partner for the Festica bluegrass or maybe the red barren bloodgrass. It is a half-price deal as well. You're going to save £10 today. It's £9.99 or £8.99 if you're in the club. 560100 is the item number. Now, we've got a couple of different options of allium for you. Same deal, same price on both of them, both in a 2-litre pot. This one is the allium bubble bath, so a slightly lighter purple colour, a slightly more fuzzy appearance to it, but still that classic ball shape of flower up at the top there. And the great thing with bubble bath is that it flowers later on and for quite a long time as well. So normally alliums are done by sort of late springtime, but this one will actually flower through the summer for you, slightly shorter as well. Still loved by pollinators though, and will multiply once you get it planted in your garden. 561206 is the item number. Borders or pots, it really doesn't mind. Great saving on that one, more than half price saving, £12 there, or $7.19 if you're in the club. The other one is the lavender bubbles, so classic kind of allium, ball shape of flowers, nice and densely packed. Bees will have a wonderful time on there. A shorter variety than the purple sensation, so a great one to add in and mix in if you've already got alliums in your garden. 561207 is the item number. Again, huge saving, £12, more than half price. Get that planted now. It's not going to do anything this year other than get its roots in, which means you're going to get bigger, excuse me, better displays next year. Oh, Camellia Yuletide. Yeah, this one's a fantastic one. So this has got evergreen foliage, gorgeous, glossy evergreen foliage on there as well. But it's called Yuletide because you get these bright red flowers. I mean, it's the perfect colour combination for a flowering plant over Christmas time. You've got those greens, you've got those reds, you've got those beautiful yellow stamens. So this is going to be a fantastic one for potentially bringing pollinators in, you know, sort of a bit of a feast for pollinators when there's not a lot else going on. If you can get 2 of those, I said this last week, didn't I? Like either side of your front door, that would be a perfect festive welcome to anybody that's coming to your house over the Christmas period. It is in a 15 centimetre pot. The one we've got here in the potting shed has got so many buds on. Honestly, looking at it now, I can count 30 buds instantly just from that one plant, and they all look like that. So that's a great one. You're not going to have to wait long to get good results from that one. £15 saving as long as you use the code YGTV4224. Oh yeah, the thalictrum. Look at that. I want that in my garden. It's so pretty. It's very showy. Loads and loads of flowers on there, but when those stamens come out, that is just incredible. Pollinator paradise, lovely sort of, the flowers don't compete with the foliage. It rises up out of the top of those. You're going to get 3 of those 9 centimetre pots. They don't look like much right now. We're going to point that out, of course, but they're going into their winter dormancy. But once you plant those out and get those roots established next year, that's going to be one of the plants that you'll be so glad you got at the price that we've done it for, because it is like buying one and getting 2 of those absolutely free. You're saving £20 here at YGTV in the potting shed this morning. £8.97 if you're in the club. Make sure you get that offer code in, because we are not just giving you all of the savings and the discounts on the plants, but you are also going to be getting a bag of bulbs. So you will get the gorgeous Narcissus tete-a-tetes included. Make sure you're entering the code in the website where it says, do you have an offer code? The other section on the website is for discount vouchers. So make sure you're putting it in the offer code section, not the voucher section. The voucher section would be for your £5 club voucher, for example. So just make sure you're putting it into the bit where it says, do you have an offer code? And it needs to be YGTV 4224. If you're doing any other combination, it's not going to recognise it. The next one is the hibiscus marina. I've got this one in my garden. I'm not trying to show off, honestly. I just want to tell you how much I love it. I love hibiscus anyway. There's mine. Look, that was it just earlier on this year. Gorgeous flower. I love the colour combination. Look, you can see how many buds are on there. I've got these gorgeous flowers. The flowers themselves don't last long. Each individual flower only really lasts a day or 2, doesn't it? And it drops. But the beautiful thing about hibiscus is that you get so many buds. I mean, so many flowers. And it's a late flowering plant. So it'll start flowering in summertime, but it'll keep going through into September and October. In fact, I've got flowers on mine still now, which is the beautiful thing and why I love hibiscus in my garden. 500078 if you want to get hold of the hibiscus marina with a £10 saving. So the next pick was the one that Adam was very keen to show you. And I'm not surprised. Look at it. It's the Madame Lemoine. It is a syringa. It's a lilac, and it is a beautiful white lilac as well. So you might already have purple lilac in your garden. Why not add in something that's going to look just that little bit different? Pure white is amazing. You get these gorgeous, densely packed clusters of flowers, and of course they have an amazing fragrance as well. Really easy to look after. All they really want is a nice sunny position. You can cut those stems, bring them indoors, fill your house with a gorgeous lilac fragrance, as well as filling your garden as well. It's a £7 saving on there. It's a nicely established one already. It's in that 17 centimetre pot. 510908 is the item number if you'd like to go for that one. Right, the bloodgrass. So this is the one that's on our bargain table, and you can see why when you look at those prices, can't you? You're going to get 3 of those for £9.97. This is very much like the buy one get 2 free again, because then you're saving £20 here. Grasses are absolutely incredible. It's not just about having a low maintenance garden. You can actually mix these in with all of the other perennials in your garden, and they look absolutely incredible. Bright red flowers you get from the bright red stems you get from the bloodgrass. Best if you can plant it in the sunniest spot possible in your garden, because that's where you're going to get the most gorgeous colour, though it can cope in a slightly shadier position if that's what you've got. You just won't get as vibrant a red colour from it. 560017 is the item number if you'd like to add the bloodgrass into your basket today. Now, winter sweet, this is one of the ones that Adam was saying is incredible for giving you colour in sort of late winter, basically. So it's going to drop its leaves when you get it home. It will drop its leaves, but it's going to form these gorgeous buds. And those buds of flowers are super sweet. They've got a gorgeous fragrance, and they flower around sort of January time. They're going to start coming out for you. It's the Chemonanthus praecox. It's 510536 is the item number, and we have taken a third off that price as well at £9.99. Make sure you're using the offer code, because that will unlock the savings, but it will also enter that free gift into your basket. Philadelphus here we have, the virginal, which is the beautiful, pure white flowers, sticking with that fragrance theme. Amazing fragrance that you get from Philadelphus, and we've got an amazing saving here as well. £7 off, so it's nearly half price, but it's better than half price if you're in the club, because you're going to get that extra 10% discount at £7.19. 510393 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Philadelphias. Make sure you're using that offer code to get that saving though. Now, if you'd like some quite showy flowers, something that's going to add a little bit of height, a little bit of structure into your borders, then delphinium is an absolutely fantastic one to add in. Flowers in succession. So you get these sort of tall spikes. This one's a slightly shorter variety of delphinium, but still going to add that height. But the flowers open in succession throughout that spike. It starts at the bottom and then gradually makes its way up to the top. It's a beautiful one. All I suggest here is that you actually protect it with a little bit of strulch, because the slugs and snails do like the new growth on delphinium. So the double bag of that is in stock, so you can get a hold of some strulch. I would very much recommend. I did plant a couple of delphiniums and I lost them, unfortunately, because I did not heed my own advice and I did not put strulch around them, and so my slugs and snails in my garden ate them. So grab that while we've still got that one. That's a great saving as well. It's £16 saving on there. 100149 for the strulch. Porovskia. This is the Russian sage. It's called Prime Time, and this one is super hardy, super easy. I mean, like, this is going to be great for all gardeners, isn't it? Because it's going to be a nice, easy one. But if you're new to gardening and you just, you know, you're a bit nervous, you don't want to waste money on planting something that you don't necessarily know how to look after, this one barely needs anything from you at all. Plant it somewhere sunny. It's going to be so tough, so hardy, so easy, and flower for a really long time, inviting pollinators into the garden as well. Comes in a 9cm pot. It's only £4.99, so it's a nice taster, nice entry into gardening if you want to give that one a go. 511497 is the item number. Use the code to get that saving. Now, it's 3 for 2 on the bulbs, so choose which 3 packs of bulbs you want. One of them will be free. The lowest price one will be free. We're starting with our favourite. I mean, do I need to say any more? Look at that. You need those in your basket. Surely you need those in your garden. There's nothing that looks like that in your garden. I'm in awe of those. Just beautiful. 600429 is the item number. I'd go for 3 bags of those. And then add another 3 into your basket. Do that. All right, bluebells is the next one. So gorgeous bluebells in your garden. They spread, they naturalise, they do it quite vigorously, but in a good way. Not so they bully and take over. They like a nice shady position, so under trees, under shrubs. They're just tough, hardy, easy, multiplying, and they have those lovely nodding heads on there. They're quite They're like fairy bonnets, aren't they? Look at that. That's the sight, isn't it? That's what makes you want bluebells in your garden. 600278 is the item number if you'd like to go for a bag of 20 of those bulbs. Next we have the oxalis, the candy cane, 630043. It's a bag of 10 of those bulbs. They do need a bit of winter protection. They don't like frost, but easy, you know, perfect one for you to grow in a pot somewhere. Keep them on a windowsill, keep them, you know, frost-free over the winter. They will give you absolute gorgeous delight. Look at those candy cane stripes on there. 630043 if you'd like to grab hold of the oxalis. 3 for 2 still, remember? You just choose the 3 that you want. And finally, the favourite. The one that's been the talk of the potting shed for the last year since we first brought you this. I'm so glad loads of you got hold of this last year. And if you didn't, like me, now's the time. Grab this while we've got this in stock. There's still plenty of time for you to plant out your bulbs. I have not started planting bulbs yet. November is my time for getting in the garden and doing all of those jobs. Got a bit of time on my hands, so I'm going to get out there and spend loads of time in the garden. 630045 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Caribbean lily and make everybody else jealous with your pictures next year. Right, so it is the 3 for 2. Remember, you just have to mix whichever 3 you want in your basket, put the code in. Whichever bag is the cheapest, the lowest price, that's the one that's going to be free. So if you put 6 in your basket, you're going to get 2 bags for free. If you put 9 in your basket, you'll get 3 bags for free. So it might be the time to start stocking up on your bulbs. Compost is the next thing you're going to need, though, isn't it?
Stu kind of just said compost time.
Compost time.
Do you remember when you used to have hammer time? MC Hammer.
Hammer time.
Hammer time.
What time is it?
Compost time. It's compost time. Right now.
Premium professional compost time. This is the best compost. It's the best compost.
Blooming gorgeous, this stuff.
It's blooming gorgeous. Honestly, it's packed with incredible ingredients. We were saying earlier, Stu and I were doing a little piece of film earlier on in the week for the compost. And we were saying about, like, if there's one thing that you change in your garden, one thing that's going to make the biggest difference in your garden, change the compost you use to this one. It will, won't it?
It just makes sense. I mean, this compost, it smells happy. It does.
I agree.
It just smells happy. It just smells like something plants want to grow.
It's a gorgeous smell.
It doesn't smell mouldy. It doesn't smell mildew. It doesn't smell dank or damp or kind of, you know. It's just got a lovely fresh smell to it. And yeah, I mean, what you just said about changing the compost, it makes complete and absolute sense because we're human beings. We've got legs. So when we get hungry, we just walk off somewhere, don't we? We go get a KFC
Hopefully.
or we get a McDonald's or we make a sandwich in the kitchen. We can get food wherever we need it because we're mobile. We can just go wherever we want. But when you plant a plant, it's stuck, isn't it, in that one place? And the only place it can get nutrients from is what's underneath, what's around its roots. And that's so critical because we always think about the top of the plant, but we need to think about the roots. And this is phenomenal. This is going to give you your plants the best starting life, but it's going to sustain those plants as well for a long time afterwards. Let's just run through it quickly, the reasons why. First of all, this is a hugely peat-reduced compost as well, and we're reducing the peat long before everybody else was. Yeah. Eventually we'll go completely peat-free. But we've taken the peat out, we've added compost wood fibre to it, composted wood fibre. That keeps the texture of the compost nice and open. That lets the water percolate through, it lets the roots penetrate, and it also means if you're a tiny, tiny little seed or a cut-in and you're trying to germinate or grow, you can easily get your roots down into this. And then once you've started growing, we've thought about that as well, because then we've put slow release fertilizer in here for you. So sometimes you'll see little
I got balls.
Yeah, so sometimes they're green, sometimes they're a tan colour, but they are slow release fertilizer that can feed your plant for up to 6 months. Feeding's one thing. Your plant needs moisture, doesn't it? We've got a wetting agent in this as well. So that means this compost is hydrophilic. It loves to absorb moisture. It's like kitchen towel. It won't repel the moisture. It will suck the moisture in. But of course, we've got that perfect balance, haven't we? Because we've got the peat element and the wetting agent drawing in and holding onto the moisture. But we've got the composted wood fibre creating the drainage. So you've got a compost that's never too wet, never too dry. pH balance as well. That means it's not right at one end of the scale, so it's not an ericaceous compost. It's not right at the other end of the scale where it's too alkaline. It's towards the middle, so it's going to accommodate a huge number of plants. And it comes in these simple plain bags. Jill always says the value is in the bag, not on the bag, because it comes straight from the supplier to you. That's why we don't have to print all that gobbledygook and nonsense on there. But I mean, you know, Bex has used this compost, Stu's uses compost, I've used this compost. I've got about 4 or 5 bags of this under the decking in my greenhouse at the moment.
Have you?
Yeah, I always like to have loads spare because it's, you know, because
it's annoying when you run out, isn't it?
Yeah, because last
it's the
summer,
most frustrating thing when you run out.
Yeah, actually, no. This summer, I did run out of I've run out of this compost, and I went down to I need to say the name then, but it's a builders merchants down the road, and they had this this compost there. I got 6 bags of that.
Yeah.
I emptied it out, and it really did smell like poo. I mean,
it had so annoyed.
Yeah, do you know that chicken manure smell?
Yeah, yeah.
It smelt. It stank, and it was really sticky. It was sludgy, and it kind of stuck to my fingers, and it was all lumpy and hard.
I hate it when you open a bag up and it's got loads of great big thick twigs in it that hasn't been composted.
Yeah.
That really frustrates me.
I've even found bits of string, like baler's twine. You know that orange or blue baler's twine?
Yeah.
I've actually found that in some compost as
So
well.
annoying.
I mean, this year I grew, well, every year I grow all my... all my annuals I grow myself. So this year I grew helichrysums, I grew ageratum, I grew cleome, I grew my own tomatoes, my own cucumbers. All of them, all the seeds I started in this compost, they were all transplanted into this compost, and then eventually my tomatoes and cucumbers I grew in the black 30-litre pots in this compost. And every year, and all my houseplants, Bex.
Absolutely.
Every time I replant, I always replant into this compost. House plants, indoor plants, outdoor plants, cutting seeds. When I plant a new shrub in the garden, I incorporate some of this around the roots. And I just find it phenomenal.
Yeah, it's the best, honestly. And if you are not one of our regulars, because I know you all know this, so sorry to harp on to everybody that watches all the time, but if you are one of the new people that's watching that's never tried our compost, this is why we go into the detail on this one, because it genuinely is this good. And you're probably sitting there, if you're a new person watching this, going, that's just dirt. They're talking about dirt. Why are they talking so crazily about dirt?
I hate it when people say dirt.
I know you do. That's why I do it.
Oh, terrible.
It isn't, honestly. It is. It's like a vitamin pill for your plants. It's filled with all this amazing goodness. And I know, look, we're paid to stand here and say good things about this. That's probably what you're thinking. They get paid to stand there and say all these amazing things. It can't be that good. What I'd like to do is tell you to go and have a look at our website, please. Just go onto the website. There's pages and pages of reviews on the website. And these are genuine, real people that constantly come in. And we never check these reviews before we show them, because we know that they are going to be amazing. Everybody has good things to say about this once they have started using it. Look, I've only used this compost since the first time because of the excellent results. Very good. Used for seeds. Good in pots and everywhere else. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Using for quite a few years now. Been using for a couple of years. It's excellent. I'll buy more. Not the cheapest, but it's superb quality. And we often talk about that in actual fact. You're right, it is not the cheapest. And we never make out that it is the cheapest. Actually, if you get what you pay for. A lot of the time you get what you pay for. If you buy the cheapest compost, you're buying the worst compost. What we do try and give you is extra value included when you're buying this. So, if you're just buying a bag of compost or the 100 litres of compost, if you're in the club, you're paying £22.48. If you're getting your free gift, which you should be, because you'll be using the code to get the saving. What's this worth today, Stu?
£9.99.
£9.99 was it?
I think, yeah.
So take a tenner off that, because you're getting £10 worth of freebies included in there. So now we're down to £12.48. Now we're getting into the realms of the cheapest compost, aren't we? So the point is we're trying to add value in here as well, so that you're getting the best value for money, but you're also going to be getting the best compost. You don't want to get the cheapest because it hasn't got the best ingredients included. If we fed ourselves on the cheapest, nastiest foods every day, we wouldn't be very happy and we wouldn't be very healthy. And it's very much the same for your plants. People used to say to me about childcare, it's very expensive, isn't it? And I'd be like, yeah, it is, but I don't want cheap childcare. Like, those things are really important to me, those things. Those kids are really important to me, so I'm all right paying a bit more. My plants are really important to me. I want to make sure they've got the best goodness.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that happens in life because sometimes I get people phone up for gardening work and and they'll say what they want and they'll say
50 quid, right?
Yeah, they say you're not too expensive. Oh, you are quite you're quite cheap. And it's like, well, no, because otherwise it'd be rubbish. It's that, isn't it? I mean,
you get what you pay for.
You go to a garage for tyres. You want cheap tyres? Well, you get cheap tyres,
exactly.
isn't it? You pay a good price, you get tyres going to last you twice as long.
Exactly.
And, you mentioned the bulbs as well. Talking of which, don't buy bulb fibre. Don't fuss about going buying that either. Use this. Yeah. This is brilliant for bulbs. You don't need to go and buy some special made-up kind of bulb thing to just exploit you. Use the same compost.
100125 is the item number if you want to get hold of your compost. If you're just buying compost today and you want to buy 300 litres, do it in 3 separate orders because there's no postage attached to this item, so you don't have to worry about paying postage 3 times.
I like where you're going.
But do it in 3 orders because then you'll get 3 bags of your gift.
So there's 20 in there, isn't there?
25.
75 bulbs. Free.
And loads of people will be multi-ordering on the compost, so it's just a good way of getting hold of multiples of these.
£30 worth of free bulbs.
All right, let's have a little look in the chat, shall we? Good morning to you all. Owen, I hope you managed to get the code to work. Stu did check it. Oh, you've said got it now. Thank you. So you're sorted. Neil was asking 3 for 2 bulb offers. Can you mix and match bulbs from the last 2 or 3 shows? There's every chance you can, Neil. So hopefully give that a go. I did it a little while ago and it did work. Can't guarantee it, but definitely give it a go. The compost is actually more cost effective. Oh, Ruth, hang on a minute, Ruther. The compost is actually more cost effective compared to other high quality brands. I tried it out on one of those online shopping companies. Oh. There you go, Ruth. Well done.
I thought we need to as well at some point. We did get that daffodil picture again because that always blows my mind away when the guy.
I know. He did the comparison between the compost with daffodils, which shouldn't make a difference,
not really,
but it did.
It did, yeah. Even for daffodils.
So good morning to you all in the chat, by the way. So Neil, Ruth, Olwyn. I'm sure I saw Alistair's name in there as well. Yes, Alistair, good morning to you. Neil, I know you're coming in and out, so thank you so much. Eleanor, hello. Ellen, I love this comment. The compost seriously saved my garden. The end. There you go. Love that. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's have a little look in the emails, shall we? Because I had a few pictures sent in earlier. So Dingo. And now Dingo's forgotten the name. So morning one and all, just a couple of pics. One of Aces coming into colour. They are amazing right now, aren't they? And this pink one, I forgot the name of. Cheers, Dingo. But you think that is...
That looks to me like an amaryllis, a type of amaryllis or hippeastrum. So we grow the amaryllis, the indoor types.
Yeah.
This is like sort of an outdoory type. I'm sure it's an amaryllis.
Lovely. Stu, am I still mirroring? Can you see it?
Initially, I thought it was a nerine, but it's not a nerine because nerine flowers are slightly more kind of dissected than that. Not so trumpety, but yeah.
So we think it's a type of amaryllis.
Yeah, an amaryllis.
Does that help you, Dingo? I hope that you're sitting there now going, oh yes, that's it. That's what it is.
Amaryllis.
Lovely. And I've got to show you the picture of the Acer. I've got to show you the picture of the Acer. Oh my, well, check out that.
Whoa, look at that.
So one of mine, which is a more burgundy colour throughout the summertime, is going this beautiful bright red colour now.
Yeah,
it's
when
incredible.
You see that from a distance, Bex, it almost looks like, when you sort of come back from it, it almost looks like one of those red azaleas you see in the spring.
Absolutely.
It's got that kind of redness to it, isn't it?
I love the way it's sort of spreading and you've got all the other plants in and around. That looks amazing. Love that, Dingo. Thank you for sending that picture. Alison sent loads of pictures. So a few plants looking good in our garden at the moment. I'm going to start at this end. Oh, still got clematis flowering. That's incredible.
That's the weird thing about October, isn't it? It's that strange month sometimes where things that you're not expecting to flower do
still look amazing, yeah.
Yeah, they just keep going, don't
Love it. Oh, I don't know what this... Oh, is that...
Oh, that's Helleborus.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Hellebore. That's hellebores, isn't it?
Christmas rose, yeah.
So hellebores are flowering. Lovely, luscious foliage on there as well. Let's see what else she sent. I don't know. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. She sent us 4 pictures. Let's have a look. Oh, look. Gerberas. Yeah, these are those lovely bicoloured gerberas. Oh, yeah, that's the hydrangea serrata there, isn't it? You can tell that foliage. Lovely. That looks like thalictrum foliage. Anyway, looking beautiful. And finally... Oh, I had no idea what that is, but that looks really beautiful.
Oh, now that I think might be a nerine.
That could be a
about
nerine.
to come into flower.
They would be flowering about now, wouldn't they?
Nerine, nerines.
And nerine hybridisers, we did them a little while ago, but only once or twice.
Yeah,
didn't
we have two colours? Didn't we have like a...
Well, last year it was just the pinks, and then this year I think we brought the mixture. We had the white and the pinks included.
Yeah, I was away in Hopton-on-Sea in Suffolk last weekend, and the gardens there had masses and masses of
Did they?
yeah,
Nice.
of nerines growing everywhere. Is this one, Stu? You mean this one? This? Yep.
Right. Starting with yours.
These are knockout, aren't they?
I like these. So this is an amazing deal we've got here. This is the wicker pattern black and silver planter. I don't think it's silver. I think it's more white, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's more black and white. But yeah, just so that you're clear, that's not silver, that's white.
Would you say these ones have got a sort of a bit of a kind of a Japanese,
Yeah,
Chinese kind of
definitely.
feel to them?
Absolutely.
That sort of look. But
It's a buy one, get two free, by the way. So you only need to put one of these in your basket. If you enter the code YGTV4224, the other two will get put into your basket free of charge. So it works out £7.19 for all three if you are in the club. So this is an amazing price, amazing deal.
Should we whack some
Great
together?
size pot. Yeah, go for it.
We've
got a great size pot as
what
well.
could we
It's
go
got
for?
drainage in the bottom, and I think you could plant a lot of things in here.
I
to be
reckon
honest
that
with you.
camellia would look good in there, wouldn't it?
Camellia could go in here.
That look
Would you
really
put the
nice in
bromeliad in
there.
here?
And I'm going to just look under the table. I have a bigger
in,
shrubs.
come in.
We both disappeared.
Disappear. Yeah, I mean, you could. Your camellia could go in there. I mean, we've got the pomegranate coming up in a little while.
do that.
Your
Let's
little
get the
pomegranate
pomegranate
could live in here. It could be a pot for your bulbs. If you're getting any of those 3 for 2 mix and match, the bulbs would be a great size. This is what I like about this particular size of pot. You can put shrubs, you can put perennials in, you can put your autumn winter bedding, and you can put bulbs in them as well. It makes them a really good size of pot.
Also deep enough to do your lasagna planting as well.
Totally,
aren't they?
yeah.
So you could layer that up. But again, the great thing about pots these days is there's no seams, there's none of that kind of horrible papery plastic coming off the bottom where they're on the blow mould. These are UV stable, they're frost resistant, they're lightweight, and somebody's really thought about these. I mean, again, you walk past these in the garden. I saw that brilliant video that Sean was doing this week where he had some ceramic pots in his garden that were real ceramic, and then he had the olive planters, and you couldn't tell the difference,
Couldn't
could
tell,
you,
no.
between the two different
Absolutely.
types? It's the same with these. You wouldn't walk past these and think, ooh, horrible cheap plastic pots. You think, wow, they're gorgeous. Where did they get them from? And the thought that's gone into these, it's not even like they've just put a pattern on here. This is textured.
Yeah.
So you've actually got some sort of texture to these pots as well. I mean, and I like the fact that the rim at the top is that lovely solid black against the decoration on the side, and you've got that nice rim there to pick this pot up as well. So again, if you're not kind of as dexterous as you used to be, your fingers can hook under that really nicely. Of course, it doesn't weigh a ton, does it? It's not heavy.
No, it doesn't. Nice and easy to move around. They're UV stabilised, they're frost resistant, so they're not the cheap plastic pots that you can buy, and you can still get those nasty cheap plastic pots. But they don't last because they get affected by the sun and the cold, and they go brittle, they crack, they break. This is good plastic, basically. It's one that will be in your garden for many years. It's an amazing deal. It's a buy one, get two absolutely free. So put one in your basket, enter the code YGTV4224, and then the other two will appear in your basket free of charge. The other option that we've got for you with pots, and I really like these. These have got a bit more of a contemporary theme to them. They've got a gorgeous texture. It's kind of a brushed matte texture that you've got on these. They're very tactile. I really want to touch them.
And texture's really important as well, because again, I go back to when I did a garden for guide dogs at the Chelsea Flower Show, and when you're sighted, you so don't think about texture a lot of the time. But if you sort of you haven't got any sight, or your sight is badly depleted, something like this, like having a pot that's got that texture to it, brings a whole new feel to the garden as well.
Definitely.
But it's just the thought that's gone into designing these, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. It does look like some kind of carved stone or something, doesn't it? But of course, you haven't got all of the pitfalls. It's lightweight. It's.
Do you know what I'd like to see in those beds?
Break.
I think the parrot tulips would look really good in there. Can you just imagine their lovely sort of green leaves just sort of overhanging the side, or even the Peruvian lily.
Caribbean lily would look amazing, yeah, absolutely.
They'd look good in there as well, wouldn't they?
Right, it's a twin pack, so you can get, so one pack will contain two, but you can double up. So one pack will be £14.98, but if you add 2 packs, which is 4 pots, into your basket, the second pack will only be a fiver, so you can double up for £19.98. I think that is, or 6. But yeah, for £5 more, you'll get another 2. 130595 is the item number. If you want to double up, they will work out at less than £5 each that we're talking about there. So absolutely beautiful, even less, of course, if you're in the club. 130595 is the item number. The next thing that you might want to think about getting is some heavy-duty pots. Now, we talk about these a lot. We love them. We use them for so many different things. We plant things in them. We use them as garden trugs. We empty our compost in as an easy way to use our compost. It's a temporary home for some plants that we don't know what we're doing with yet. There's Sean in his lovely greenhouse, look, emptying that compost into the heavy-duty pot there. I use mine a bit like this, like Sean's doing. When I'm doing a massive amount of planting, I will do that. I've got multiple things planted in mine. Blueberries, 4 different types, an apple tree, a cherry blossom tree, a rose, a couple of other things as well. But I use it like this too. I use it for going around the garden when I'm doing my deadheading and my weeding. Everything goes into that trug before it then goes out into the big bin around the side of the house. Really nice strong handles on here as well. So if you are using it for potting things in, maybe you've got a big tree in it or something or other, you can actually get one of you on either side to lift it and carry it, and those handles are moulded into place so they're not going to crack and break.
Talking of those handles, you know what I did with those handles? In my greenhouse, I grew cucumbers and tomato plants this year. What I did, from across those 2 handles, I put a bit of bamboo cane, and then I cable tied the bamboo cane either end to the handle. Right. And then in the middle, I tied a piece of string to the middle of the cane and then to the top of the greenhouse.
Oh, nice.
And then I had my tomato plants and cucumbers growing up the string. Yeah, and it worked just brilliantly.
What a clever way.
Yeah, because sometimes they say sometimes to put it around the tomato plants, but I found when I did that last year, it really started to cut into the stem of the tomato, especially when they got really heavy. So this year, I just made sure the string was independent of the actual tomato, so the weight wasn't sort of twisting around it, and it worked brilliant.
Very good, nice.
And just use the handles in a different way. And then I just threw the compost out onto the garden after I'd finished with it.
Very nice.
But and I found also bamboo canes, brilliant for putting all the bamboo canes in, because I used to have them just in a corner somewhere, and the amount of times the flipping things kept slipping down, I tripped over them. So I just stuck them all in this pot.
I had all my tomatoes in there, and I chopped them all down when I got rid of the tomatoes a few weeks ago. But they've started reshooting again. So now I'm like, maybe I should just put them somewhere, and maybe they'll grow again next year.
They do try, don't they?
Yeah, they do. What do we want to see, Stu? One of the most creative uses that Stu has seen of the heavy-duty pot. This is in Sean's pub garden. That's an old beacon they had that they used to light. Oh yeah, for the coronation ceremony. He's put a heavy-duty pot inside it. That's very clever.
And that looks like an old bird table as well. He's like converted that onto as well.
Very clever.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Like it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So many ways you can use them. Honestly, it's one of the best things you can buy for your garden. It's a pack of 4 as well. £17.99. They will be so long-lived in your garden, and you'll find so many uses for them. 130011 is the item number. Right, we're back on the favourites table. Let's remind you of all of the things that we have put onto our favourites table. Escallonia pinkelle is the first one. This is a gorgeous evergreen shrub. This is beautiful, isn't it?
It's evergreen and looks brilliant all the year through, and it's one of these weird shrubs that has a big flowering season in the spring. It grows into a nice conical shape, this shrub, so brilliant for pots, brilliant for containers. But then it just keeps throwing out flowers every so often. So this is its main time, when it's really flowering like crazy, and then it will go off a bit, but then it will just decide when it wants to just keep flowering. Look at the root system on that as well. So, you've got a shrub that's evergreen. You've got a shrub that has pink flowers for a lot of the year, and at certain times of the year, masses of pink flowers. It's compact, it's slow growing, it's easy to look after, it's drought tolerant, it's sun tolerant. John, my husband, he's got one in the front garden in a pot, doing really, really well. Bought one for my sister, my mother-in-law. That's doing really, really well in Jenny's garden.
It's tough, it's hardy, it's easy, it's reliable, it's one of our head gardener's favourites. It's just one of those ones that's going to delight you every single year for many, many years. 510545 is the item number if you want to go for that. It's in the 2 litre pot and we are saving a third of the price. It's £5 saving. So use that code to get your saving as well as your free gift today, which is the Narcissus Tete bag of 25 bulbs. The next one in our weird and wonderful category, this is the one I really want you to add into your basket because this is just something a bit different. It's so weird, it's so different, and it's a big, healthy plant right now. And you've got something to look at all the time because it's always got something there. It doesn't die back down, does it?
No, it's always
looks like that throughout the winter.
Yeah, got these sort of spiky leaves that
doesn't get affected by frost either, does it?
I mean, in a really, really severe winter, it might get knocked back a little bit, but you know what? 9 out of 10 winters, it will get through. And all I'd say is, if you're going to plant this somewhere, plant it really sunny and really well drained. That's what it likes, sunny and well drained. It's the same family as pineapple. That's a bromeliad as well. It's got this sort of textured foliage with these little spines on the edge, which are quite nice, really. They're not that prickly. I quite like the texture and the feel of them. Long-lived, drought-tolerant. It'll grow where other places will struggle, plants will struggle, but I tell you what, oh my goodness me, when it flowers, it's insane. I had this in my old garden in Bishop Stortford, and when it flowered, it was knockout because the base of the leaves will turn this fiery red colour, and in the middle is some kind of crazy electric blue, and it almost looks like a made-up plant. But it's incredible. It's phenomenal.
I mean, that green that you can get on there as well. So you've got this really sort of a lime green colour, that bright electric blue, and then a fiery red. That colour combination shouldn't work, but it really does.
It's like a sort of almost colours of a parrot, isn't it? Really, I mean, or some sort of bird of paradise.
560100 is the item number if you want to go for that. It's a half-price deal at £9.99. Next, we've got the Allium Bubble Bath. Now, doesn't look like a huge amount right now, but the important thing here is getting it in the ground so that it can establish now, because if you get a really decent root structure going on, which is why autumn planting of perennials is a great time to do it, means you're going to get a bigger and better display next year, so in summertime, and that's what you get from your Allium Bubble Bath. I mean, look at the roots. That is why you want to get this in the ground right now, because those roots will then get established in the ground. And then in springtime, it's not focused on getting roots in the ground, it's focused on providing you with this colour.
Yeah, and with roots like that, Bex, those roots, as you say, will get into the ground straight away because the ground has been warmed up all summer, and probably in another 2 or 3 weeks' time, the ground temperature will start to go down. As soon as we get the frosts, that will go down. You can stick your hand in the soil at the moment, it doesn't feel particularly cold, but come March, oh my goodness me, your hands are freezing. Get it established now, and it's different like a normal allium. If you've gone to the Chelsea Flower Show in May, you will see the alliums flowering away. You know, the Philoslephorum and all that, and the sort of the big drumstick alliums and so on. This is more of kind of an herbaceous perennial one because this flowers later in the summer on shorter stems for quite a few weeks.
Yeah,
and it's loved by pollinating insects.
If you do love your alliums and you want them to last for longer, then the Allium Bubble Bath is definitely one you want to add into your basket. We've got another option for you, which is the Lavender Bubbles. Same deal, so 2 litre pot, same saving, £12, but slightly different flowers on this one.
Yeah, I'd go for both.
Yeah, I would
as well. They've got almost exactly the same growing habit, but you've got those different colours, and I think just to sort of match or mix and match these colours would be amazing. Long flowering, so I grew these in my old garden in Bishop Stortford. We designed a garden where I live in Swaffham, and we planted these in the ladies' front garden about 3 or 4 years ago. Every spring they come up and they're getting a bigger and bigger clump each year.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. They will naturalise. They'll multiply for you. And you can divide those clumps as well.
Yeah, you can do. You lift them up, just break them apart, and they sort of flower about this sort of height, so a lot shorter than the...
But I like that, because you know, if you've got the Purple Sensations or the Christophys or any of those other varieties that get to a metre in height, if you get these, you can plant those at the front, and you just get loads of that colour going on for ages.
And it's almost a bit of a... I mean, imagine if you could get bluebells to sort of flower in sort of June and July. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And that's the thing, because you always think, by the end of May, the alliums have gone over. But it gives you a chance to have allium flowers much later in the season. If you've ever let a patch of chives come into flower, very similar kind of look and feels to these. The same sort of family.
All right, that's your allium lavender bubbles. So get those alongside your bubble bath because you've got a great saving on those right now. Camellia Yuletide is one that you're not going to have to wait too long to get the flowers from, in actual fact, because we can see how many buds are on this plant. I mean, I'm going to say there's 30 on there. There are some big fat buds here, but then when I look up the stems, I can see little smaller ones come in here. Honestly, I think 30 is probably an understatement just from this one plant, and this is the kind of plant that you will be receiving. It is a massive saving, £15 off here, and called Yuletide because we're going to get gorgeous bright red flowers over Christmas.
Yeah, and you can see there, Bex, already this bud is already starting to burst and show a little bit of colour.
Look at it.
This one's probably a little bit more advanced because we've had it kind of on our Dutch trolleys in the greenhouse for a couple, so it's enjoyed the extra warmth.
Yeah.
But I mean, really healthy plant, lovely dark green leaves. I love the little serration on the edge of the leaves as well. Looks great all the year through. Very hardy, very frost resistant, very drought tolerant, very free to flower as well. Lots of flowers, and if it ever gets too big, prune it back immediately after it's finished flowering, and all the new shoots will then produce flower for you the following year.
510818 is the item number if you want to get hold of that one. Make sure to use your code to get that saving and your free gift included in your basket as well. Thalictrum Meadow Rue. This one is captivating. I just love the flowers that you're going to get on here. Again, not one that's going to be massive to look at right now. You know, it's doing its thing as it does at this time of the year. It's dropping its leaves. It's going into dormancy. But again, one of these perennials that you want to get in your ground right now so that you can get even bigger and better displays next year.
Look at those stamens. Those beautiful
they're so showy, aren't they?
You've got that lime green scent, you've got the purple petals there. Yeah, like a little firework display going on here, and on lovely sort of delicate stems that actually are very sort of wind and sort of rain resistant. This plant will get to about a metre and a half tall. Really nice foliage on this as well. The foliage is a bit like French parsley. It's got that sort of nice feathery foliage. A tough perennial as well. Drought tolerant. Actually, I've got mine at the back of a border where it's a bit shaded, and it actually does quite well in a shaded position. And it's a nice intermediate perennial that will kind of flower after the spring bulbs are finished, but before the main perennial border kicks in. So a great sort of, intermediate flowering perennial.
560256 is the item number. It's a buy one, get two free is basically the deal there because we've taken £20 off that one. Let's give you a little reminder of some of the things that have been popular. Apparently loads of things are popular today, so we don't know where we're spending time at the moment. But I'm so happy that we were right. I'm so glad that we were right. Tulip Parrot Mix, yes, you are loving it. Thank you so much. I knew you would. Absolutely gorgeous. It's part of the 3 for 2 mix and match. So put 3 bags of bulbs that we've got on our offers into your basket. 1 pack will be absolutely free. I would recommend going for 3 of the Tulip Parrot Mixed. You don't need any others. That's just going to be amazing. I'm definitely getting hold of some of those myself. 600429 is the item number. Adam, your pick, Madame Lemoyne. She is in the top list as well. She's in the 17 centimetre pot, saving £7 here. So really nicely established, gorgeous white flowers, beautiful fragrance, easy to look after. Just put it somewhere sunny. 510908 is the item number. The next one is another fragrant and another white flower. So yeah, I think that there's a bit of a theme going on here. Philadelphus Virginal, 510393 is the item number. Really well established in that 2 litre pot. Saving £7. It's nearly a half price deal. It's definitely more than half price if you are in the club. 510393 if you'd like to go for a beautiful fragranced white flower. And the most popular item on the show today, the Perovskaya Prime Time. Great, love it. Nice and easy to grow, beautiful flowers, pollinators will absolutely love it. It'll grow on a washing line, as Adam says, and it is only £4.99. It's a half price deal. Lovely, lovely plant for you to have. Nice one to add into your basket to tip you over that £40 mark so you get your free postage as well. 511497 is the item number. Go to YouGarden.com to place your orders. You can actually go on the phone lines as well. The details are on the bottom of the screen there. Because the phone lines are open during the week at the moment. So if you like talking to people, Sometimes we avoid talking to people, but sometimes it's nice to have a conversation with a person.
Yeah.
But you can go on the phone line and place your order. Just let them know that you've got an offer code. Tell them, first thing, I've got an offer code to use, I'd like to place an order, but can I give you the offer code first? YGTV4224, because that's how you're going to get your savings. That's also how you're going to get your free gift, which is a bag of 25 of our Narcissus. These are the tete-a-tetes. I don't know why we're giving this away as a free gift. We don't need to. Right now, this is probably prime time for people actually buying these.
I'll tell you why we're doing it. Because we care.
Because we care. You're right.
Because we care.
It's true.
That's the thing. We're trying to bring you plants in a different way.
Absolutely.
You know, and do things in a different way. Kind of building up a symbiotic relationship, really. You know, we love you, you love us, and that's what we're trying to do. And share our knowledge, share our passion. It's not just about buy, give us your money.
You're
right.
Know,
we want to bring you more than that. We want to break the mould when it comes to talking about plants and enjoying gardening.
I love you. You're very, very nice man.
And I love Stu as well.
25 bulbs you will get as that free gift of the Narcissus tete-a-tete, and they'll be in your garden for many, many years to come. We've got a few emails and things coming through. Somebody's asked to identify something, and I actually know what it is.
Oh, that's good. That saves me worrying. It's like,
Yeah, until Adam corrects me, as Stu just said.
No,
we've talked about it already in the show, so that's probably wI instantly know what it is. I would have looked at it going, I know what it is, I can't remember the name, but we've talked about it, that's
That drives
why.
me mad when it happens.
So we're going to I've probably got it completely wrong. We'll do these items, then we'll go to the emails. So, hydrangea, incredible. Now this one is absolutely incredible. So this one was to sort of replace the Annabelle, wasn't it?
It was, and you know what, Bex? They say you can get flower heads up to 30 centimetres wide.
Yes.
On this.
I mean, that's just mental.
Yeah. Well, you
How
think
does that... I mean...
Well, you remember your school ruler? That was always about 12
inches.
Yeah, so that's easy to envisage, isn't it? I mean, dinner plate kind of
Beautiful.
width, pretty much.
It's going to need a bit of help, though, surely. It's going to need a bit of...
Well, no, the good thing about these is, because, you know, sometimes you get things with big flower heads and then the stems can't support, can they? This has been bred also to have really thick stems
there you go.
To support the flower, because sometimes I've seen certain roses that look amazing on these great big stems, but when you get heavy rain or wind...
Yeah, they fall down.
They fall down, and sometimes they snap.
Yep.
This incredible actually stays up. I mean, obviously they'll flop a bit, but they don't snap. They don't fall down completely. So they will support themselves, and you will get this incredible drama from these huge flower heads that got lime kind of green centre to start with. Then they open to that pure white. They're like sort of fluffy clouds on stems, aren't they?
They're amazing. And this is a hydrangea that doesn't get affected by acidity or alkalinity, because some hydrangeas do get affected, you know, and that's an interesting thing, depending on the alkalinity or acidity of your soil, but this one doesn't. So you still get the colour, you get the change between the lime green and the white, but it's consistent no matter what soil you put it in.
And I'll tell you something else as well. It's like, oh, do I have to sort of prune it after it's flowered?
There's always that conversation with hydrangeas.
Yeah, does it flower on old wood? Does it flower on new wood?
When am I supposed to do it?
Do I take 1/3 out? I'm not going to bother growing. That's too much hassle. You know what? With this, in the spring...
Chop it.
Just chop it off. Like sort of February, March time, if it's too tall, chop it off to whatever height you want, and all the new shoots that come will flower the same year.
Amazing! So we're taking out all that complication. We've got massive, great big flowers, beautiful white flowers as well, and we've got a £13 saving on that one for you too. 510009 is the item number. Make sure you use that code so you get your saving and you get your bag of bulbs included. Now, Campsis. This is something.
One of these. I have as well. Honestly, if you came round to my garden on a coach, I'm not faking it. You would find all these things that I say I've got in my garden.
No,
so
it's true. We're not lying when we say it, are we? Yeah, Campsis. We've got two options for you. We've got the orange or we've got the red available. Why do you grow Campsis?
Two reasons I grow Campsis. First of all, the leaves. The leaves are dramatic, huge, great big leaves. I mean, you get an idea of the shape of the leaves there. But the flowers are phenomenal. Huge, great big trumpet-shaped flowers that flare out at the ends, and it's got a real tropical look to it. It's the sort. If you've ever been to the Canaries or somewhere like that, and you see sort of climbers like this growing along people's fences and stuff, and you always think, oh, I could never grow that in the UK. You know, it's too tropical looking.
It's that, isn't it?
Yeah, these grow really well in the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm pretty sure we give this a lifetime guarantee. The little snowflake symbol.
It's a winter hardy.
Yeah, it's winter hardy. Well, mine is.
It's deciduous though, right?
Yes,
So,
deciduous.
I mean, it's
Lovely. The leaves turn a lovely yellow colour. Mine's got yellow leaves at the moment, turning nice yellow colour. They drop, and it's a great climate, and also it has these things called adventitious roots. So it's a bit like an ivy. When it hits a wall surface, if it's been there for a little while, it will send out these little tiny roots, and it will fix itself to grow up a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got mine growing up a trellis, but the good thing about it is from mid-summer to mid to late summer, right into autumn, week after week after week, you get masses and masses of these trumpet-shaped flowers. They're about 2 or 3 inches long and are just so dramatic against that. That's what I loved as well, the foliage. Isn't that gorgeous? That foliage.
Beautiful. Love the contrast there. It's really pretty. £9 saving included on that one. It's 55001 if you would like to go for the orange variety. But we've also got the red variety available for you as well. Same deal. $15.99, £9 saving in the 2 litre pot. It just depends which colour talks to you most. Maybe you actually want to get both of those, because you could sort of grow them together and they would intermingle.
Each other.
Yeah.
Let them intermingle.
That would be lovely, actually, the red and the orange growing together.
I mean, these, I've seen loads of these growing. Again, when where was we the other day? I was with John the other day. Yeah, it was when we was at Hopton. I was at a Haven site in Hopton, and when we were walking along, there was a wall, and they had a huge one of these growing on top of a wall, smothered in orange flowers. So if you want quite a vigorous climber to cover a pergola or quite a big space, this is one to go for, but you can prune it back and keep it in bounds as well if you want.
Lovely. Well, 55003 if you want to go for the red one. Do remember you're getting those £9 saving as long as you use the code YGTV4224, and you're going to get your free gift. I love that free gift. This is tete-a-tetes. 25 of them entered into your basket, absolutely free of charge, worth £10 or $9.99 for every single order that you place. So if you're placing multiple orders, you're getting multiple bags of those as well. Right, let's go into the chat, shall we? So Dave, can you identify, please, bulbs smell like onion? It's a nerine, isn't it?
They're nerines.
Yeah! I knew it!
Yeah,
gorgeous. Look at those.
Yeah,
and the beautiful thing with nerines is that they are later flowering as well.
They do, yeah. It's weird you should say that, because I was again saying to John the other day, I love nerines, but isn't it a shame they wait till this time of year to flower? It'd be so nice if they flowered in the middle of the summer. But then, having said that, it is nice that they give colour late in the season as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Alison sent an email just saying, yes, Adam was right, it was a nerine. That was one of the pictures we showed earlier. Do you know when the multicoloured ones will be in stock? Alison, I don't know, but Stu might be able to find out. He's saying, have you checked them? We haven't got them at the moment. But he's going to have a little look, because he can see behind. It's out of stock, the hybridisers mix. Stu's going to have a look. Dingo. Dingo says, thank you, Adam, for the identification of the plant, and just received my 24 flower pots and free peony. Cheers, Dingo. Yeah, Dingo's the one that placed the order when we had those other pots last week, and he placed the order for multiples. He owned up to it. Well done, you. And Penny says, thank you. You know I love it when we're counting down. So Penny's expecting a delivery, and it's 15 stops away before my delivery. That was at 11:38, so it's going to be a bit closer now, isn't it? She's got tulips, narcissus, and pots from last week's offer. Sharing with my neighbour. How lovely. Love that you're sharing with your neighbour. Thank you very much for all your emails. Let me just go into the YouTube chat just to see if anybody is saying anything in there. November, apparently, nerines will be back. But you can, if you go onto the website, you go into the item, you can ask... There's a notify me button, so for anything that's out of stock, you can put your email address in, and then you'll get an email when it comes back into stock, which is really good, because if it's something you really want, then you'll get that notification.
Do you know, another thing that's really nice about it, I don't know if you've noticed this, when you've got an order arriving, it's like bulbs or something, I love that smell when you first open the box. It's a kind of I can't describe. It's like a smell of excitement and anticipation, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Especially bulbs as well. They kind of, you just open the box and you hear the rustling of the bulbs and you get them all out and you think and straight away you can just envisage all them on a spring day. It's sort of flowering away.
It's the dream, isn't it? You can picture what's going to happen.
And it's the excitement of planting them, putting them in the pots, and just before you know it, you're out there admiring them and kind of enjoying them.
Alistair is saying, good morning, my compost has just arrived. So yeah, I'm glad we're getting all our deliveries out to you. Thank you very much, everybody, for emails, for joining in the chat. It's quite busy in the chat on YouTube. Oh, excuse me. Stu's keeping an eye on the Facebook chat as well, so if you want to have a chat with us via Facebook, he will let us know. Penny was in there this morning, Angela's in there this morning, so good morning to you all. Thank you so much for your company. Angela's saying, oh, she got the deal on the manure, so she's putting that in her greenhouse. Yes, it was Angela that's got ground in the greenhouse. It confused us the other day. I know, it's like my uncle, that's how he uses his greenhouse as well, but I don't know, in my head I just had it's a greenhouse where you pot things up, but it's actual ground in the greenhouse.
Yeah, some people just have a path down the middle, an actual proper soil.
That's what my uncle has in his garden, and he always grows his tomatoes and things in there. Angela has the same. But we were completely confused. We didn't quite understand, and now we get it. Right, we are going that way. Let's go that way.
Let's go.
Right, yes. So Adam has changed a few things over for us so that we can have a little look. Oh, yes, it's back. Thank you. I absolutely adore Sarcococca, and I always told a story about this one. This is one from years ago, before I was into gardening, before I really knew anything, or I sort of potted. I did a few things, but I wasn't really into it. And I went for a walk around a local place from Peterborough. And there was this, it was in February time, and I was with the kids, and they were teeny tiny, and I was like, this smell just smacked me in the face. I was like, what is it? It smells so sweet, it smells so delicious. And I'm running around this place smelling plants, trying to find what it was. And it was Sarcococca. The fragrance that you get from this is absolutely incredible, but there's so many other attributes to this, isn't there?
It is phenomenal. And
I don't think it's smelling just yet. It's
my
going to be a
brain's
little while.
rushing ahead as well, because earlier on we created a duo. We were saying Camellia Yuletide, and then we were saying
Winter Sweet.
Keemananthus Winter Sweet, and
now we want this as well.
Now we want this as well, because you put those three together, you've got your winter garden, haven't you? I mean,
totally.
Yeah, you've got fragrance, you've got evergreen, you've got colour. Whoa, yeah, honestly, this is one of my favourite Sarcococas. There's one called Confusa as well. It's got a sort of a slightly different growing habit, but this is more of an upright one. And once you plant, this is the Sarcococca, I think it's Hookeriana type.
Yeah, it is Hookeriana.
And what it'll do, it'll eventually
form... There's the buds coming.
Yeah, on their way, yeah. And it'll eventually form a little thicket. You know how bamboo grows and you get loads of little kind of sort of bamboo stems and it gradually spreads out? That's what this does. It sends out little runners under the ground, then it will send up upright shoots, and eventually it will form a lovely little clump. And I tell you what, like Bex said, the fragrance of this on a winter's day is so absolutely phenomenal. I mean,
it's a lovely sweet smell as well. It's a nice sweet smell.
And really pretty flower, that beautiful flower there. Super evergreen,
along
glossy
the stems
foliage
as well. It's not just like just one flower at the end. It flowers up along that stem, which I really like.
All the way up sort of the leaf axils up the stem, in little clumps of flowers, little groups, and over a long period of time as well. And
it's a good one to take cuttings off. If you do your winter, displays in your home, it's a great one because you can cut stems and you've got a foliage filler, but you've also got those lovely flowers that'll add that fragrance in.
Yeah, I've definitely had fragrance to your living room or somewhere like in the house without any doubt at all. But sometimes, if you're lucky, they have berries as well. The Confusa type tends to have more berries than this type, but this plant, it's great for shade as well. It's a great shade-loving plant. So if you've got a shady area, if you've got a damp area, if you've got a north-facing area, or you want sort of a ground cover kind of plant, it gets to about knee height. And once you plant it, nothing to do thereafter.
I don't touch it.
You just leave it.
I just leave it alone. It's evergreen. It gives me flowers. I never need to trim it. I don't need to do anything to it. It just sits in the border, being beautiful.
Does its thing, gradually spreads out, when I say spread, don't worry, it's not invasive, it's not going to take over, but gradually, year on year, incrementally kind of just gets sort of bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's great. It's one of my sort of favourite go-to shrubs. I always mention to you about nandinas when if I think about nandinas for sort of summer colour and things like that. The sarcococcas are always plants I go for winter colour because they're tough, they're reliable, they're fragrant, they're brilliant for the sort of the winter insects. Because even on a mild day in winter, bees will actually come out their nest if it's mild enough, and they will ferret around for that little bit of nectar that they can find. And this is a great plant to feed them in the winter.
I love it. 510563 is the item number. It's a 25% saving. We're taking £5 off the price there. Use that code YGTV4224 to get that deal and get your free gift included in your shopping basket today. Next, we've got our allium lavender bubbles. We talked about it a little bit already in relation to the other allium, but this is it in its glory. This is it in real life. It comes in the 2-litre pot. I was going to say glory. No, there is no glory at the moment. It's going into dormancy. That's absolutely fine. But just like with the other one, should we do it? Let's take it out. I want you to see the roots on here.
It will have a good root system.
It will have an amazing root system on it. Oh. There it is, look. It's a rooter, definitely. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So get that planted in the ground, and then that is going to root away now until next year, and then you're going to get these beautiful allium lavender bubbles coming up out the ground. Oh, he wants me to move this. Hang on. All right, we're moving it. We're moving it. We've got a clematis coming up for you. So allium lavender bubbles is a great one to add into your basket so that you can get loads more flowering from your alliums. If you love your alliums and you wish you got more of them, then do that, because your other alliums will flower sort of late spring, and these will be in summertime, won't they? Yeah,
so it's gonna extend that interest of allium flowers all the way through for you.
Yeah, definitely. Let's bring you on to 561207 if you want to go for your allium lavender bubbles. Let's bring you back over this way to the clematis. This is called Kimiko.
It's a great clematis. This one is an evergreen clematis.
I like that.
Yeah, because
clematis they're great and they're easy and they're flat, but then they're just a bit meh over winter.
Yeah, the only one I can ever think of when people ask me is Clematis armandii. That's the only one I can ever think of that's evergreen till I come across this one. And it's fragrant, because again, armandii is the only fragrant clematis I can think of, but this one's fragrant. Ooh. And it's not a crazy romp away one, this one either. And I tell you what, with this one, don't have to prune it.
You don't?
You don't have to prune it.
Oh, look at that.
You just leave it, and it gets to about a metre and a half tall, and it's absolutely flipping blooming brilliant to grow in a tower pot, because that's just the sort of thing it loves. Yeah. And it's
a bit more compact. It's not going to take it, because obviously we often talk about clematis, how it gets a bit tall, and then the flowers all disappear over the other side of the fence. Your neighbour thinks your clematis is gorgeous, but you don't tend to get much of the joy, do you?
No, this one, you say it'll get about a metre and a half tall. It's reasonably slow growing, so it's not one of those clematis that romps away and takes over and goes mad. It's got those lovely glossy evergreen leaves. It's got those really lovely white anemone-like, if you like, sort of fragrant flowers with the lovely sort of deep centres. And I think it just flowers up to about 5 or 6 months. I think it flowers over quite a long period of time.
Absolutely. So yeah, we've ticked a lot of boxes with that particular clematis right there. And we've got a double-up deal available, so you can get one for $12.99 or you can get two for $13.99. Please don't just put one of those in your basket. That would be crazy. Get the other one for £1.
Really hardy as well, this.
Yeah.
Super hardy. And if you're like Mandy and you live 5 floors up and you've just got a balcony, then again, really easy to grow a clematis. Grow it up a tower pot and you can have a clematis that's just so easy to look after. I mean, imagine, because that's another thing that people absolutely lose sleep over pruning clematis, don't they? Because there's pruning group 1, pruning group 2, pruning group 3, 4, 5, and people, this, just plant it and leave it, enjoy it. That's the end of it. No hassle.
Love that. Okay, you can just see that tower pot in the background there as well. It's a double up for £1. So add 2 into your basket. Put the code in YGTV4224. You'll get both of those for £13.99. Next, we've got a bare root for you. We are entering bare root season. Bare roots is the best way to get the best value for money, because when you buy a bare root, it's exactly what we say. It's a bare root. It doesn't come with the pot. It doesn't come with the compost. When you buy something potted, you're paying for the pot, you're paying for the compost, you're paying for the labour of somebody doing that job and also looking after it. Here, you're buying a dormant plant. It's perfectly alive, don't worry. But it just comes to you in a bag. Should we get one out?
Yeah, go for it.
Look, it looks, yeah. I'll get one out for you so you can see what it looks like for anybody that's brand new to it and doesn't know. But this is like a gardener's secret, isn't it? To buy bare roots.
Well, you know what? Bare root it's what we used to always do. You go back to Edwardian or Victorian times, bare root was the way to go. That's what we did back then because we didn't have all the technology of cold storage and all the other things that we can do now. So, come the autumn, once everything fell dormant and it's no longer growing, we could dig roots up. And you could break the root up into various pieces, and as long as it had a bud or an eye on it like that, you could plant it and it will grow.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you can see, look, there's the shoot on the top there. That's where it's going to grow from. It is just fast asleep. It is just dormant. We're not sending you just a muddy twig, I promise you. This will grow, so get it in the ground. And the bowl of beauty is truly a bowl of beauty, isn't it?
Well, you know what? You remember last week we were, as a free gift, we were giving away Sarah Bernhardt.
Yes.
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean,
It's
you put those, if they were two of your best friends, you had to split up with one of them.
Don't split up with either of them. Just get both of them in your garden.
Could you? I mean, this is staggering, isn't it?
It's staggering.
Look at the colour of this, Bex. I mean,
Truly beautiful.
It is absolutely stunning, isn't it? It's like two flowers in one. First of all, those incredible petals around the outside, and then that wonderful ruffled centre in the middle, those little orange stamens. What a joy this would be when this is flowering.
Yeah, it's a buy one, get one free here as well. So it's a bag of 3 bare roots, but if you put one in your basket and enter the code YGTV4224, you'll get another bag absolutely free. So you could have 6 of these. If you've got space in your garden, that's brilliant. If you haven't got space in your garden, still get the free pack and share it with a neighbour, share it with a friend. Give them that bag and get them to plant those out as soon as possible, really. You don't want to leave those bare roots too long, because if they dry out, they will die out. So yeah, it's not like bulbs that you can leave sitting for a few weeks. Just get those planted as soon as you can once you get them home. Very easy.
Yeah, one quick tip I would say, get a bamboo cane and just push a bamboo cane in next to where you put them, because it's really easy by the end of the winter to forget where they were. Dig
it up and then you just think it's a muddy twig and you throw it away. So, don't do that. Yeah, definitely remember where you planted those. 580006 is the item number if you want to get hold of the bowl of beauty. Next we've got a hardy pomegranate bush. I hope that all our regulars have got hold of this by now, but if you are new, I want you to get the hardy pomegranate bush. It is just weird, wonderful, amazing. You can grow your own pomegranates on here. They are not edible, but they are beautiful.
Yeah, you've got that lovely foliage, that lovely almost sort of like willow kind of like foliage, like small willow leaf foliage, even colour in the stems on there as well. And it's one of these shrubs that has sort of various sort of colours of foliage with the new foliage, but in addition to that, look at the flower, those lovely trumpet orange-shaped flowers, and then that really ornamental fruit, almost like sort of like Christmas ornamental baubles, really kind of growing on there. So even though you can't eat these pomegranates, it's just nice to have them as colour, as interest, really. This shrub is quite slow growing. Eventually it gets about 1 metre tall. This again, I'm pretty sure it has the lifetime guarantee,
I think it does, yeah.
hardy guarantee on this. Because I've actually, oh yes, look at that, bless me, look, it says at the top there, hardy.
Hardy.
I know. God, why don't I look at things a bit more? But
look at that flower.
It's great, and it's a real, I mean, that is a proper orange as well, isn't it?
It is, really bright orange. And then that is going to turn into what you can see there, which is one of the pomegranates actually growing on there. I think it's just fantastic. It's unique, it's a bit weird, it's a bit different. We do say winter hardy, it does come with its guarantee. I might give it just a little bit of extra protection just this winter while it's still a little bit smaller, but it's entirely up to you. It depends where you live. Comes in that 2 litre pot. It is a £5 saving, so we're taking 25% off the price of this one. And get that one into your basket. 680066 is the item number if you want to get hold of the hardy pomegranate bush.
I go to a garden in Thetford, and there's one in a garden in Thetford. It's about a metre tall and about 1 metre wide.
That's probably full size.
Yeah,
then.
and it's obviously been through quite a lot of winters.
Yeah,
and it's still looking good. No problem.
Absolutely, I love it. I think it's really unique.
Yeah, it's just
a bit different.
Bit of fun, isn't it? Really.
Right, we might want something to plant it in. And we've got a great deal on some pots. So it might be for the hardy pomegranate bush, it might be for some of those bulbs that you've got going on in your garden, it might be for some winter bedding. But what we do have is an amazing price. It's a buy one, get two free. Not a buy one, get one free, which is what you expect. It says buy one, get two. So put one of these into your basket, put the code in, and the other two will appear in your basket. And I think it's a great size of pot, this one.
Yeah, it's that nice sort of intermediate size where it's not going to be too heavy if you fill it up with compost, but it's not like, you know, a really tiny pot you're going to have to keep well watered. So kind of a lot of the things we've got on the show today you could grow in here to start with. The camellia would be fine in here for a couple of 2 or 3 years. The fascicularia would be really happy in here. The bromelia. In fact, shall I just grab it quickly?
You can put your alliums in here, the lavender bubbles or the purple one. I mean, we've got the bulbs that you could easily plant into here. It's deep enough, as Adam said earlier, to be able to do your lasagna planting as well. But it could just be something that you want to put some of your autumn and winter bedding in. The great thing is that it's obviously a buy one, get two free. That fills that instantly, doesn't it?
Yeah, that does. I mean, that looks really nice in that, doesn't it? That looks. I mean, obviously it'd be slightly sort of slightly higher out the pot. It'd kind of be a bit like that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it fills it
but
gorgeously.
yeah, that just looks really great in there. So, and then obviously, you know, you could take this to the hottest, sunniest part of the garden, which you'd really, really love. But it's just the thought that's gone into these. Not only have you got that lovely design on there as well, which I think's got a slightly oriental kind of feel to it, to my way of thinking, but also it's even textured. It's got that nice sort of textured finish to it, and look at that lovely sheen to that pot. The example I always give: if you was walking to work one day and you walked past somebody's garden, you looked in their front garden and saw these, you wouldn't think, ooh, cheap plastic pots. You just take it for granted that these were kind of some sort of stone or metallic pots with a really fantastic high-end design, because that's what they look like. UV stable, frost resistant, lightweight, reinforced rim around the top there as well, and a nice wide rim. So if you're not as dexterous as you used to be, you're not going to pick these up and they're going to slip out your hand and fall on your feet. You can move them about really easily. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, love those, and an amazing price. £7.19 for all three of those if you are in the club. And the other ones, you've got a bit of an oriental theme going on there. This is maybe a little bit more contemporary, but gorgeous. It looks like stone as well. It looks like somebody's carved this out of a lump of stone.
Yeah.
Nice texture to these two. It's the twin pack of Laval planters in the ebony grey. So you're going to get two already, but if you put 2 lots in your basket, you'll get 4 for £19.98. So they work out less than a £5 each. Another great size as well.
These look really, really high end, and I think the bulbs will look great, and the parrot tulips will look really fantastic in there as well. I can just imagine if you put some parrot tulips in there and then planted on the top with about half a dozen blue forget-me-nots, and then, you know, the tulips come up through the middle, blue forget-me-not overhanging the side. Ooh, that'd be a beautiful spring display, wouldn't it? Plonk those in the garden after they finish flowering, and then go for your summer bedding.
Good amount of drainage in there, plus the channels for the water to drain away from, so hopefully no worries of plants getting too waterlogged at all when we get those. I say when, because it's going to happen, when we get those massive deluges of rain. 130595 is the item number. It's a twin pack, but you can double up and get 4 of them for £19.98 as long as you use the code YGTV4224, and that will also put your free bag of daffodils into your basket as well. I didn't listen to you, Stu. What's next? Strelch. Okay, Strelch is the next thing we need to talk to you about, and particularly, I mean, I think it's a great time of year to go for your Strelch. To be honest, this is something that you can get any time of year, but right now we're probably thinking about putting things to bed for winter. There's certain plants that are going to need that extra layer, that extra duvet. If you put your extra blanket on your bed, I have got a bit cold a few nights ago. Not last night, but a few nights ago, I was like there with my extra blanket.
It's quite nice, the thought of going into hibernation for winter, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Just wake up and suddenly it's spring.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah, all the manky bits in between have gone, apart from Christmas.
Also, you'd have to build up your fat stores, so you could just eat everything, which would be great. Adam was saying before, he's like, my shirts seem to be getting tighter around the waist. I think they've shrunk. They haven't shrunk anywhere else, just around the waist.
Yeah, I know. It's a manufacturing fault on these shirts. They only shrink around the waist, not on the shoulders.
What nonsense. So yes, it's about, the Strelch is very much about giving your plants that extra duvet, that extra bit of protection. But the great thing about Strelch is that this is going to work for you throughout the year. So duvet now, but then when the fresh spring growth starts to come through in springtime, who loves the fresh spring growth? slugs and snails.
Do they? Yeah. And when they crawl on this stuff, it kind of gives them a bit of an unpleasant sensation. So
Doesn't hurt them.
No, it doesn't hurt. Doesn't kill them.
Doesn't kill them, so it's
No.
a nice environmentally friendly way. Because we want the slugs and snails in our gardens. We just don't want them eating certain plants.
Yeah, it kind of gives them a nasty tingle when they decide to sort of walk. Well, not walk because they haven't got legs, but they decide to sort of slime off somewhere else, probably into your neighbour's garden. But also other things they do in the summer, they'll keep the weeds down. It really suppresses the weed strokes really, really well, and it reduces the amount of watering you need to do because it stops the water evaporating from the soil.
Absolutely.
If you've got really wet soil, goodness me, we've barely had nothing but wet soil, have we, this year? And you've got heavy soil, you can walk between the plants in your flower beds without it all sticking to the base of your boots and treading it everywhere.
I like that.
Which is really, really good. And it looks nice. It just really highlights the plants. It lasts for about 2 or 3 years, but as it breaks down, it also adds organic material to the soil. So, and it's made in the UK, so it's a UK-based product. So it's a sort of a multifaceted product, and it's pH neutral, which means you can use it on things like rhodies or azaleas, but you can also use it around other plants as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you don't need to worry.
We never talk about that. That's a really
you
good
actually
point.
sort of put it round, so you can use it to mulch anything. But I used it for the first time last year around my hostas. I had hostas in a raised bed. And I put it round those. I was a little bit late doing it. And for the first 2 or 3 days, there was still the odd little bit of nibble or so. But after about 3 or 4 days a week, that was it. All stopped, all ceased.
Stopped.
Yeah, it did the trick.
Amazing stuff, honestly, and I love the fact that it's got so many uses for you to use throughout the year. So duvet for your plants right now. Stop the slugs and snails eating that fresh new growth in springtime, and also weed suppressant and a moisture retention properties in summertime as well. So it really does cover year-round issues in your garden. It is the twin pack, so 2 9-kilogram bags. You are saving £16. There is no postage attached to that. It is delivered direct to your door, which I think is great when we're talking about these slightly larger and heavier items, because that can be really tricky for anybody to have to go and get, you know, stuff from the garden centre. I find those jobs really tricky, so it's lovely to get them delivered direct to your door. Right, the other thing you might want to stock up on right now is going to be the compost. Let's have a little chat with our wonderful head gardener, Peter McDermott, and our Shawnee Ryan to tell us all about the compost.
We describe this as premium professional compost. And the reason for that is it is the compost that is known, this formula we have perfected over decades. So I've been using it for decades. We have perfected it over decades. You've got a blend of the best peats plus wood fibre that you can imagine. Now, by volume, approximately 50% of this compost is wood fibre, and the balance is made up of a blend of peats, and there are 3 different peats. So you've got things like sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable. You've got sedge peat, and then you've got darker sphagnum as well in there. So you've got 3 different peats. You've also got, you can see actually just there, there's slow release fertiliser. These little green, what look like little eggs, you'll see those dotted among the compost when you're planting it. That's slow release fertiliser. One of the most expensive ingredients in any compost is fertiliser. You can see that there's another one just down below. That is amazing because that will deploy nutrients to the roots of whatever you grow in this compost just when they need it over the next 6 months. You then got what's called a buffer. Now, peat in particular is naturally acidic. So, and plants like to be just on the acidic side of neutral as a generality. There are exceptions, so things like rhododendrons and azaleas, they love to be properly acidic in terms of the ericaceous soil or compost they're growing in. But most things like it just on the slightly acidic edge of neutral. So that's what this is designed to give you. So it's got a pH buffer to keep it in exactly that zone. The wood fibre keeps the sort of perfect air-water porosity ratio, which is what we talk about in the trade, all these complicated terms. But it's what plants need is they need a jungle gym to grow in. So they need a jungle gym for their roots, which is called growing medium. They need some water, and they need some air, and they need nutrients. And when you've got the perfect compost, it blends the air and the water and the constituents of the compost. It all blends together to give the perfect environment. That's what this particular compost does, which is why it's trusted by us. We will be growing approximately 150,000 potted roses on this nursery this year. That's roughly what we grow most years. We'll be growing, I don't know how many hanging baskets, but our pre-planted hanging baskets that will be available later, you will have bought them in the autumn and last spring as well. they grow in this compost. We will grow countless perennials, whether they be in the 9 centimetre square pots or the 3 litre pots or the 5 litre pots, plus fruit trees. And this is the compost we use for all of those things. So we trust it, the trade trusts it, and actually based upon well, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bags of this particular compost that you've bought over the years, you definitely trust it as well. And, you know, and actually, peat is a thing. We need to think about peat. Not me. I happen to also be peat, but it's the peat that's in here that we're talking about. We can still use peat in our gardens right now, and actually the alternatives, generally speaking, are a bit iffy. So if you want to get the best results, in my view, use this particular compost for as long as you can. It's got 50% other material in it, which is the lowest level we could get to and still have a professional quality product for you and for ourselves. So we've been as eco-friendly as we can, and we jumped onto that particular that approach years and years and years ago. So this is the same formulation that we've had for at least the last 6 or 7 years, with 50% other material to bulk out the peat, and it still works better. So I would say this is, in my opinion, it's the only compost I use at home. It's the compost we use on the nursery. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Well, if the head gardener uses it and loves it, then it's got to be an amazing compost. And do you know what? Don't even believe all of us. Go and have a little look on the website and see those reviews, because they are from real people, you know, like you sitting there at home, that use this compost, and every day we get new reviews coming through, and they're always 5-star, they're always amazing. 100125 is the item number. Go to yougarden.com to place your order. Enter the code YGTV4224 if you're shopping with us today, because that is going to unlock all of the savings, it's our magic key. It's the magic key that unlocks absolutely everything, including our free gift today, which is a bag of 25 of our Narcissus tete-a-tete bulbs. These are super popular. We sell these time and time again every single year, but this is your free gift with $9.99 today. £10 worth of free gift for you. Right, so something new we haven't shown you yet today, which is our garden ready plants. Garden ready plants to give you autumn and winter colour. I love a polyanthus. Mine are really, the ones I've got in my garden at the moment, they're all starting to come out, getting the lovely flowers, the lovely rosettes of kind of luscious foliage, and then these gorgeous flowers coming through.
Yeah, I bet they've only been there a few weeks, so they've probably got much of a root system on those.
No, they're probably rubbish, aren't they?
I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, they're going to be absolutely awful.
That's what I mean. Every
They're
time.
garden ready. So you've got lovely root systems on here. The compost isn't falling away as I've taken that out of there. It's been grown on by our expert growers here at YouGarden.
And that's one of the smaller ones. I mean, you know, this is look at this one. This is a big old beast. This one. Look again. Look.
Just pulling it out by the foliage.
Beautiful root system on there. Look, fantastic root system.
Lovely.
Every time. Look at how beautiful those leaves, but how glossy.
I really like those rosettes of leaves that you get with polyanthus. There's something quite luscious about them. I like the crinkled effect that you've got on there. They're really tough. And then you get these gorgeous flowers just rising up out the top there that give you that winter colour, which is what we need. Really,
really cheery. And they always remind me of my dad, bless him. He's been gone a while now, but I always remember when I was a kid, my dad used to take me sort of for walks. We used to walk miles, and sometimes late winter we'd go over at the back of a place called Harlow Common, and in the ditches and stuff we'd see primroses flowering. Loads and loads of primroses, and I always got that excitement because I knew when the primroses came out, spring was just round the corner. And that's the great thing about polyanthus. Yeah, they give you that splurge of colour right at the end of winter when you really need it. And as we've been seeing as well, they flower at other odd times, because I know about 4 or 5 weeks ago you were sending us pictures of your polyanthus and primulas and stuff flowering.
Yeah, mine are.
Yeah,
mine are flowering now.
In the summer again at really, really unusual times. What they tend to do is they flower during the winter. They love sort of that springtime. That's when they really do flower. They love the sort of the coolness, don't they, and the dampness of spring. Then through summer, they have a bit of a kind of they sort of take a bit of a backstage, they have a bit of a relax, and then as soon as the autumn starts to cool down, quite often towards the end of summer, autumn, they'll flower again, won't they?
They form clumps. You can divide them around your garden. Once you've got them, you've always got them. 410013 is the item number. It works out of 50 pence a plant, 45 pence each if you are in the club. That's if you double up, of course, because this is a bog off, a buy one, get one free mix and match. So you can get 2 packs of those, or you can get 2 packs of these, or you can get one of each. It's entirely up to you. The next one we've got is the Pansy Matrix Britannia mix. So it's the red, white and blue theme is what we're giving you in this particular mix. Again, really wonderfully established root systems there. And these are going to flower for ages, aren't they?
Yeah, up to about 6 months flowering on these as well. And I'm just wondering, Bex,
They do have a bit of fragrance for sure.
Yeah, there is
It's light, but there is a bit of a fragrance on there.
Isn't that lovely? Look at
I
that
love
purple.
them. And they're larger as well.
Yeah.
Plus they're matrix, so they're bred to be upright.
Yeah, I mean, they're really frost tolerant as well, really frost hardy, upright, and look at that lovely deep red colour there. Lovely mix of colours here, lovely healthy foliage. Beautiful. Look at those really distinct colours, and it's what you say about the white. I always think white flowers are a bit like the referee, aren't they?
Yeah.
In the middle, they just sort of highlight and they emphasise the other flowers in between them. Because if you just put those 2 colours together, it would still look good. The 2 dark colours, but they kind of all not blend into each other, but they wouldn't stand out so much. Putting that white in between makes the other colours pop, doesn't it?
Really
and
does.
really sort of come to the fore.
It's the beauty
and
of
stand
white
out.
in the garden.
Yeah,
It's something I've really started to learn as I'm doing more gardening. That white, as you say, is the referee. It's amazing. So it's 10 garden ready plants. It is mix and match. So choose which 20 you want. Put them both in your basket, enter the code, 1 pack will be absolutely free. 410009 is the item number. Let's go over to the corner, shall we? Because we need to bring back a few items that you have been loving, starting off with the Philadelphus, the virginal, the mock orange. It's all about the white flowers, it's all about the fragrance, and that's what we're getting with Philadelphus.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphus, it's probably one of the easiest shrubs you can ever grow. Once you plant it, you just walk away and forget about it.
I like that.
Yeah, you don't.
I like some gardening to be tough and, got to think about it a bit more, but I also like a lot of them, just put it in, walk away, enjoy the beauty.
Yeah, for the first 3 or 4 or 5 years, I would just leave it. Perhaps after the 5 or 6 years, it'll start to form a bit of a thicket, and you could, in the 4th or 5th year, perhaps just take out a few of the older stems just to kind of open it up a little bit. But you know what? I've seen Philadelphia shrubs just left year after year after year. They're upright, they're tall, they're impressive. They explode into a sort of a mass of this mock orange kind of flower. And they call it mock orange because it's got that sort of orange sort of scent to it, that kind of citrusy kind of scent, and they really, really are fragrant. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance in the spring, and flowers over a good sort of 4 to 5 weeks. And it's a shrub to fill a big space, but you can prune it back if you want to. If you're going to prune it, always prune it immediately after it's finished flowering, which is about May time. May into June is when it sort of flowers. After it's flowered, prune it back immediately. Then all the new shoots it will make will give you flower the following year. But you know what? I would just use this to fill a space. I was saying earlier on, for example, if you've got a sort of a right-angled corner in your garden where 2 borders meet and you want a bit of height in that corner, just plop this in one of those corners. It'll fill that space. It will come back year after year after year. It has lovely yellow foliage in the autumn before the leaves drop. Then in spring, the foliage comes out and it's just an explosion of these scented, pure white flowers for a long, long time.
Amazing price on this one as well. Nearly half price, certainly half price if you're in the club. $7.19 is what you're going to pay when you use the offer code YGTV4224. The next one is just a beautiful delphinium magic fountain here. Slightly shorter version of a delphinium, but still going to add that gorgeous height into your borders. It is so beautiful.
I like the buzz that you had about these earlier, Bex. I mean, the way you described these earlier, honestly, I was there with the delphiniums in the garden.
So pretty.
They are. They're the way you were saying about when you went to the... I'll let you do it. When you went to the Chelsea Flower Show.
Honestly, at Chelsea Flower Show, this is where I fell in love with delphiniums, and I was just blown away. I stood there looking at... I mean, obviously, they grow them to a certain size, don't they, for the Chelsea Flower Show, but I was absolutely blown away by the mixture of colours that you can can get, the way that they grow in these really sort of dense, tall spires. They open in succession from base to tip. So every day you walk out into your garden, there's a new flower that's opening for you to look at. I like that the flower and the foliage don't compete with each other either. You know, you get that lovely sort of bed of foliage at the bottom, and then it's almost like, you know, it's the perfect backdrop for those flowers just to rise up out of the top of there. I think they're gorgeous. I like the way that you've got the little sort of, it's almost like a little thin stem that comes out from the central spike that's got the flower attached to it as well. Just so much to look at with this particular plant. And my top tip here is just make sure you get yourself some strolch, because you'll be gutted if you allow the slugs and the snails to get hold of them. They do like the new growth, but as long as you protect it, and it's super easy to do, you won't get those slugs and snails munching on that.
I mean, once they're up a good 5 or 6 inches.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah,
it's the
they're
new
away.
growth they like.
And you can get delphiniums to flower twice. So once they've first finished flowering, cut them down to ground level, or about 2 or 3 inches. Give them a liquid feed. Blooming fast is great, and 9 times out of 10 they'll send up a second flower spike that will flower in another couple of months' time.
Amazing, one of my favourites for sure. Just a little reminder for you: we didn't tip this one as a favourite. We didn't. It is very, very popular. People are loving this one, the fragrant evergreen Clematis Kimiko in the 7cm pot. It is a double up deal where you can get 2 of those. The second one is just a quid more, so why wouldn't you? We will show it again before the end, but yeah, top tip here. Lots of you are going for that one. I'm glad you are. I'm glad you've proved us wrong. Not wrong. We just didn't highlight it as one of the favourites, so I guess it'll get promoted.
Evergreen, it doesn't need pruning.
Yeah, no, we should have nailed that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Should have been on the favourites table from the beginning. Anyway, I'm glad you're loving it. Let's carry on with the table here. The Syringa, the Madame Lemoyne. Beautiful. Again, white. Again, fragrant. This is one of Adam's top tips for the show today.
And you'll find a lot of lilacs have a French name, because the vast majority of lilacs are bred and have been bred in France. So that's where hundreds of the hybrids come from. And Madame Lemoyne or Lemoyne is one of my favourites, because
it's probably moi.
Yeah, these huge, great big flower heads, these double flowers, these wonderful, wonderful fragrance, really sweet, enchanting fragrance. And on a day in May, you get one of those first kind of gorgeous blue days, and you've got these big heads of white flower against that blue sky, and everything's coming up out the ground, and you hear the first cuckoo, and you can feel the warmth of the sun again, and the days are getting longer and longer, and the foxgloves are flowering, and it's that magnificent time of year. It's a wonderful shrub, and it's a bit like the Philadelphus. They flower at a similar time, the Philadelphus slightly later. But again, if you're looking for a shrub that's impressive, that's going to give stature, that's going to give height, that's going to live, I mean, lilacs can live over 100 years. They're really, really long-lived. So plant this where you always want it to be, and every spring for a good 4 or 5 weeks, you're just going to get this most amazing lilac with that incredible fragrance.
Okay, so it's £12.99. You are saving £7 on that as long as you use the offer code today, YGTV4224. Make sure you're using that, because it'll give you your free gift included as well. £9.99 worth of the Narcissus Tete-a-Tete. That's 25 bulbs for you to plant in your garden, which is a great free gift. £9.99, free gift that's going to be with you for decades. Once you plant those, they'll outlive you probably.
Yeah,
you in particular.
Charming.
I'm only joking.
I'm making jokes about my age.
The most popular of the show today is the Borowskia.
If you look as good as me at 42, you'll be...
I know, right?
I wish.
It is our gorgeous Russian sage. I'm so pleased you're going for this one. That's amazing. It's the most popular item of the show.
Yeah.
We would not have believed that either. We haven't nailed it today at all, have we?
No. Well, the first thing to say about this as well is...
It has got a fragrance.
That's
for
nice,
sure.
isn't it? So it reminds me of...
What?
Paxo stuffing.
Does it? Oh, it's got a sagey...
It's got that fragrance. It smells like it's got that sagey kind of smell. You know when you.
It's got a bit of a eucalyptusy smell to it as well. There's something.
But you know when you're doing a roast chicken dinner and you first put the boiling water in the start and you get that lovely herby kind of fragrance.
I love that smell.
Yeah. And then you eat that little last bit of stuffing off the spoon, don't you? Where you've been mixing it.
I like it when you put it in it. I don't like making the balls. I like making it in a in a pot.
I know, yeah.
And then you get the jammy bits, like the chewy bits around.
yeah.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, well, that has got that
Love
sagey
that.
smell to it. That's got that beautiful sagey smell. This originates from, from Russia, from that part of the world. It's very hardy. This shrub is hardy to about -20, -25. It's bone hardy. Many months of these lovely, beautiful blue flowers, that lovely silvery grey, fragrant foliage. It comes back year after year after year. And again, it's one of those plants you don't have to do anything with apart from, at the end of the year, trim it down to about 3 or 4 inches, leave it. It will come back every year. Long-lived, lasts for donkey's years, drought-tolerant, grows in poor soils. Yeah, fantastic plant.
Brilliant.
Underused.
Glad you're getting that one. 511497 is the item number. It's £4.99. If your order is sitting at 37 quid, then add that one into your basket. It'll tip you over the £40 mark. You won't be paying that £6.99 postage. But clearly, everybody's going for that one anyway. That's amazing.
Great for poor soils and just areas to leave where other things won't grow.
Right, on to our favourite, certainly of the bulbs, but it's definitely right up there as one of the favourites of all of the show that we're bringing you today. And it's because it's so flamboyant, so gorgeous. It's the tulip parrot mix. And you can see why it's been called the parrot mix, because it does look like some exotic parrot, feathers and things, doesn't it?
The colours in there. I mean, look at those colours, Bex.
Look at those.
It's not only just the colours, it's the shape of the tulip as well, isn't it? I mean, it's just so unusual. It's so bizarre. And you look at the mix of colours there. Oh, you can just imagine that on a sort of a day in late April, May time, with that lovely sort of spring sunshine on them, and perhaps a little bed of forget-me-nots underneath, or some wallflowers growing around those, for example. Wouldn't that be magnificent?
I just want a pot of those all by themselves. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some of these, and it's just going to go in one pot, all on its own, right in the centre of my table outside. That's going to be the focal point of my spring flowering display.
And once you've got that, do you have a favourite out of? I've got about 3 in there that I like. That
really
one.
like that.
And I like the one in the middle that's yellow and green.
That one
and I
there.
like the one just above that to the right, under the YGTV.
Oh, this one
that
here.
one. I quite like that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
I mean, the fact that you're going to get all... I want them. I want them.
They're remarkable, aren't they? Absolutely remarkable.
It's in our 3 for 2 mix and match, so we've got a few different bulbs available for you. All you have to do is choose which 3 bags you want. It could be 3 of the same, it could be 3 different, it could be 2 of one of another. Doesn't matter, whatever 3 bags you want, put them in your basket and enter the code. 1 bag will be free. The lowest priced item will be the free one. I think the lowest price is £9.99, so you're going to get £9.99 worth of bulbs for free. Plus, you're going to get another bag of £9.99 bulbs for free as well, because you're going to get your daffodil, your narcissus tete-a-tete included in there as well. Another one that we've got in our 3 for 2 offer is the Caribbean Lily. It's a beautiful one. Massive, great big bulbs you get here, and the flowers are so incredible.
The flowers are phenomenal. I mean, early this year you kept sending us pictures. So many of you grew these this year. Bex and I were really green with envy because we didn't grow these. Bex has now got some of these bulbs. I'm going to order some this afternoon when I get home, because I want this flower next year. I mean, when I saw this, and it was something. I mean, I've been gardening for 37 years, but gardening is such a vast subject. Nobody can know everything about it, and it was only this year that I actually came across these. I'd heard of scillas, other type of scilla, but I'd never come across this type before. And as soon as I saw your pictures, I've got to have that.
Well, these are Amanda's pictures. Obviously, we've got loads and loads of pictures, and they were all as beautiful. It's only because Amanda sent us the journey of the flower opening in succession, which is why we're using these. But thank you to everybody that sent us their pictures. They were all gorgeous. But this is what we kept talking about last year when we first brought this bulb to you, was how that bulb will open up and the cluster open. Look, I mean, that's so interesting, but they open from the outside inwards, which I think is beautiful, because, I mean, certain flowers, they open and they're beautiful. Yeah. This one takes you on a journey while it's opening, so you'll constantly be going out the next day to look at what's happened next.
It's kind of, because when the flower head is fully out, it almost reminds me of a little miniature agapanthus kind of flower head. It's got that kind of look to it, isn't it? And what I liked was seeing that the pictures you sent in there was how you seem to get sort of multiple flower stems. Some of those have got little baby flower spikes coming up at the base of the bigger ones there. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's compact, it's stout, it's really impressive, it's really unusual.
And something we have to talk about that just needs to be planted on its own. I don't think you want to mix it in with anything. I think it would lose its beauty. I think it needs to be sort of central and pride of place, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what else I'd mix it with.
I think if you planted anything, you'd want it very sort of low
Very
ground
low.
cover. I tell you what, I might have that at the base, growing around the base of that, house leeks. Sempervivums.
Oh, that might be cute.
Kind of growing around it, and then just a clump of that in the middle. I think that could work quite nicely.
Like it. 630045 is the item number if you want to go for the Stella Peruviana, the Caribbean Lily. We have restocked. We sold out of our earlier stock. We've restocked. There's plenty to go round, so don't worry too much at the moment.
The weird thing is, not
obviously
from
we
Peru
will
or
sell
the
out at some
Caribbean.
point, but hey,
It's not from Peru or the Caribbean.
no, I don't know why we call it Caribbean
It's
Lily.
just one of those things. It's actually, I think, from North Africa and Southern Europe, but it's hardy, hardy in the UK.
All right, so, maybe. I lost my balance. Maybe you want some
Gin in that
pots.
water bottle.
I think it must be. I think my husband spiked me this morning. Right, let's talk to you about our wicker pattern, black and white. We need to change that description. They're not silver at all. They are black and white. There is no silver on here. But they do have drainage holes at the bottom. They've got the channels to drain away. They've got the lip underneath for you to be able to pick up easily and move around. And of course, they're plastic, so they are lightweight, which makes it much easier for you to move around your garden.
Yeah, and they've got great texture as well. I mean, they've got lovely texture, and they've got this sort of slightly kind of oriental kind of look to them as well. They've got that reinforced lip around the top, which makes them really easy to pick up and move about. These are not going to slide straight out your hand. And I like that they've kept the sort of the rim around the top, that sort of black, that solid black colour contrast nicely against the rest of the pot. And they're just that ideal kind of size. I mean, a lot of the plants we're bringing you today, the Perovskia, for instance, you could start that off in one of these pots. That would be happy in there for a good 2 or 3 years. The Camellia Yuletide would be quite happy in there. The Fascicularia, the Esculonia L, all of those would be quite happy in these planters, wouldn't they, for the next 2 or 3 years?
Of course, Stu's done.
Very professional. I like it.
They are black and white. Thank you very much. Yes, we have named them correctly.
What I
now.
like about Stu, he's very proactive.
I love it.
Yeah.
130227 is the item number. Put one of them in your basket. Enter the code YGTV4224. The other two will then go into your basket free of charge. It's $7.19 if you're in the club.
He should have done a little smiley face as well.
I like that, very good. All right, let's bring it back over to the favourites. We've got just under 20 minutes remaining. So this is sort of a last call for you to make your list, to start placing your orders. It sounds like our favourite table is going to change on Sunday because there's a few items that are selling a little bit better than what's on here. Judging by what's happening at the moment, Perovskia, Delphinium, and clematis. Oh my word, what's going to get demoted? Let's go through them. Let's start off with the Thalictrium.
Easy for you to say.
Syllables. Thalictrum meadow rue.
The Rushbrawnianum. Yeah.
Rushbrawnianum. I wasn't going to know that. It's meadow rue.
Yeah, it's meadow
Now,
rue.
they don't look like much right now, and I appreciate that, but please don't be put off by, their looks at the moment. They're just doing what they do at this time of year. Next year, these are going to be absolutely beautiful, but the importance is to get them in the ground now so they can get a head start.
Yeah, and they are one of those plants, you definitely won't rue the day you put these in, because these are going to be magnificent. I've got Thalictrum in my own garden. They get to about a metre and a half tall. I've found to be quite a good perennial for a shadier part of the border as well. Bone hardy, drought tolerant, self-supporting, weeks and weeks of flower on these. Fabulous seed heads afterwards as well. Really lovely foliage, easy to grow, and just hundreds and hundreds of these little flowers with these beautiful, beautiful pink petals, and then this explosion of lovely, lovely yellow stamens in the middle. It's a really, really beautiful, underused plant, Thalictrum. More and more people should grow Thalictrum. It's long-lived. It will come back year after year after year. It gradually forms like a sort of a bigger clump. And eventually I have half a dozen sort of flower spikes come up and just give you drama for a long, long time. But to finally say about this, it's a good intermediate perennial because it sort of kicks in just after the spring bulbs have finished, but before all the mainstay perennials start flowering. So it kind of fills that gap in the middle.
Perfect, and you are getting 3 of those, which obviously we know is great for planting schemes, gives you that gorgeous natural look. It is like a buy one, get 2 free, so it is a great time to buy right now, because obviously next year, if we bring these to you, it will come at a higher price, but because we are where we are in the year, that's why you're getting these amazing prices. 560256 is the item number. Use the code, or you'll pay full price. We don't want you to pay full price, we want you to get the best deals. Next, we've got the Camellia Yuletide. It's the 2nd week in a row that we brought this to you on the favourites table. I don't think it'll stay here for much longer, so do grab hold of this while we've got this particular deal. It is a £15 saving, so almost half price here, and a fantastic one for winter colour.
It is a fantastic one for winter colour, and also in other parts of the world, India and China, for example, they grow thousands of these on slopes, and they pick the leaves. That makes your peachy tips.
Makes tea, doesn't it?
Makes tea.
Camellia plant.
Yeah, Camellia. Camellia sinensis is the tea plant. Yorkshire tea is available as well, apparently. I prefer that one. I like Yorkshire tea.
What's the one I got? It's not Yorkshire tea. Mine's the fancy one. No, it's the fancy one.
Fancy? The breakfast. The breakfast.
No, not Taylor's.
I've
forgotten the name. Anyway, maybe
anyway.
We're not talking about tea. Come on.
Look at this, evergreen, which is absolutely fabulous, really, really healthy foliage, and I like the little serration on the edge of the leaves as well, gives it a little extra feature. But look at this one, these little buds, already showing colour. This one has been in the greenhouse for the last couple of 2 or 3 weeks, so it's slightly got a little bit more advanced. But what is really, really beautiful about
Twinings.
this... Oh, Twinings, yeah. I love the advert for Twinings.
Sorry.
It's a really chill out, relaxing advert.
Just remembered.
Simplicity of these flowers that come out so cheekily and bravely in the middle of winter. Single flower, but with those lovely yellow stamens against that really dark, glossy foliage. And look at the amount of flower buds on that plant there. This is going to flower for a good sort of 4 to 5, 6 weeks for you in the depths of winter. Really lift your mood. If you haven't got a ericaceous soil or acid soil, grow it in a pot. Fantastic pot plant. You could bring it up onto the patio, bring it up to the patio doors and kind of enjoy the flower in the middle of winter. And we've got a couple of other little partners for this today as well, because we mentioned earlier on the Chemonanthus winter sweet that flowers at the same time, and also the Sarcococa winter gem. That's another one that flowers the same as this. So if you want, you could have a little trio of winter flowering shrubs in your garden this year.
Amazing. 510818 is the item number, saving £15 on there. It's just $19.99 or $17.99 if you're in the club. Now would be a great time to use those £5 vouchers as well. Just bring that price down a little bit more. That would be amazing.
I could see this for £30, $29.99 in some garden centres. Because camellias are never cheap.
Because especially when it's about to go into flower. So Amanda, hello to you. Amanda, you are asking a question. Do delphiniums come back year after year?
Yes, they are perennial. They will come back year after year, providing you've got them in quite nicely well-drained, sunny soil. If you've got them in really heavy, wet soil, they'll rot off. But
yeah,
well, good drainage, full sun, love it.
That's probably another reason why they didn't survive long in my garden, because that's heavy clay soil in my garden. So
and we did have an exceptionally wet winter, and it stayed wet, didn't it, into spring?
What was that, Stu?
But delphiniums are perennial. They will come back year after year.
OK, so Amanda, does one need to be a member to get a reply? I'm guessing that's a website job membership. That is. No, we reply. We just get to we get to you as soon as we can. Honestly. So sorry. Being new to flowering plants, it'd be useful to get advice before buying. So think this selling platform is a good idea. Ah, that's nice. Yeah, that's exactly why we do it, because I think gardening, it can be a little bit. It's daunting. That's a good word. Thank you. It is a daunting experience because you're like, well, there's so many to choose from, and I don't know what flowers when and that. So it's really good to be able to talk, to be able to ask questions, and for us to be able to answer them. You know, it does absolutely help. So thank you very much.
And
for that
we're always honest, Bex, as well, because we're not going to say to you, oh, grow anywhere, plant it anywhere, plant them all over the place.
No, we try and tell you exactly what it wants, and if it will grow anywhere, we'll tell you that. But yeah, if it's specific, we're definitely here to give that advice.
And like we just said, if you've got really wet, heavy soil, we won't tell you to plant delphiniums.
No, don't do it. Neil says, I'm back from the vet, so I can watch the rest of the show, then watch it back from the beginning. Thanks, Neil. Oh, is Rocky okay? That's what we want to know. Is he all right? Okay, good.
He's not called Rocky for nothing.
Keeps coming back. Tuffy. What are you saying, Stu? If we're looking for flowering things that keep coming back, yeah, let's go for the pink L, shall we? These are good ones for you, Amanda. Escalonia Pink L, really long-lived perennial, gorgeous evergreen foliage and loads of flowers, right?
Yeah, masses of flowers. It's compact as well. It forms a nice sort of conical dome shape to it. My hubby John has got one of these in the front garden. He bought one for his mum Jenny down in Kent. Hers has been flowering its socks off for the last couple of years. It gets through the winter time. And it kind of has a... Oh, look at that. I mean, that's insane, isn't it? Look at the root system on there.
The tone of your voice changes every time.
I know,
It's quite worrying.
It gives me all of a quiver, really. I mean, that's incredible. I mean,
it's beautiful.
It's as beautiful underneath as it is on top, this plant. We're not sending you out some stick we rooted 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
We're sending you out... I mean, that plant has probably been growing for the last couple of years or so to get it to this stage of maturity. But it'll have its huge sort of flowering period back in the summer. And it's one of these cheeky shrubs, a bit like Ceanothus or Wisteria, that occasionally just throws out some more flowers because it wants to, because it fancies doing it. It even has a fragrance to it, this as well, quite a sweet little fragrance. I'm not going to tell you it's like gardenias or something, but a really great shrub. And you can see there, look in that pot, how lovely does that look? You know, even got it up on the table somewhere.
Yeah, it's
definitely
beautiful.
Try this.
£5 saving here as well, third off the price, 510545. If you're not a member of the club, maybe now is the time to join. It's going to cost you £5 to join the club, and that's a one-off payment that lasts you for 12 months. It's on auto-renewal, so it will auto-renew after a year. You can cancel it if you want to, though. We're not trying to tie you into anything. So it's well worth going for that £5 auto-renewal one. It will always stay at £5 as well, so if you don't let the membership lapse, then it will always cost you £5. It will always auto-renew at that, even if we put the price of the club up. So it's a one-off payment of £5. But every time you shop then, within the next 10 months, 12 months, you will be saving 10% off the plants, the pots, the compost. You get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers that you can spend throughout the year as well. So you will find that you will start saving money very, very quickly, and you can start saving today. So you'll get your 10% discount on your first order. The £20 vouchers will get sent out to you in the post as well. Right, so yeah, do think about joining the club today. Bromeliad, the Fascicularia bicolour. Have you spelled it? I was trying to look earlier. Is it CIC? They've spelled it wrong on this board as well then.
Yes, I think there's an S before the I.
There you go. All right, Fascicularia, this is the bromeliad basically, and it's absolutely beautiful, almost grass-like, you know, but the flower that you're going to get from this is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks like it's something otherworldly. It's really...
It looks a bit alien.
Yeah, it does look a bit alien. I had one of these in my old garden in Bishopstorp. I had it in a raised planter, really, really well drained, and I had it planted at the base of a palm tree that was grown, so the two went together really, really well.
Nice. I think it worked. I mean, it's totally hardy, so don't think anything of this, but I just think it looks really cool with a more tropical planting scheme.
Yeah.
It looks like it should be tropical, but it's not. It's winter hardy.
Yeah, we give that a winter hardy guarantee, so you know, if you lose that, we'll replace it for you. Evergreen foliage, so it looks good all the year through with those lovely sort of you know, sort of spiky leaves, and eventually it sort of forms like 4 or 5 little clumps that kind of not split, they kind of spread out a bit, so you can end up with 5 or 6 of these flowers growing at any one time. Stu reminded me of a garden called Hyde Hall in Essex. It's an RHS garden, and they've got a big rock garden there, and I'm completely sure I remember seeing a huge clump of these flowering in this rock garden, and they're just magnificent. They run these sort of plants, and when it flowers, you think, what on earth is that? Is that real? Because the leaves turn that incredible fiery red, and then, in fact, it almost looks a bit like sort of like the aurora borealis kind of colours creeping into the middle of that flower. They're talking of which we had an amazing one in Swatton.
No, I missed it.
Wow, it was mind-blowing.
Everyone was taking pictures. I was fast asleep.
But yeah, and then that blue that explodes in the middle. This is a real talking point plant. So honestly, try this, and all it'll ask from you is put me somewhere really sunny, really well drained. That's the thing. We won't like really wet, heavy soil, but well drained and sunny. That's what it will love.
Amazing. 560-100 is the item number. A half price deal. £10 saving on that one, and it's just £9.99. We're into the last 10 minutes. We've only got 7 minutes left. Let's crack on. Allium Bubble Bath is the next one. It's in the 2-litre pot. I thought I was. It's in the 2-litre pot, and you are getting a £12 saving on this one as well. The bubble bath, love this. It's got a really sort of fuzzy appearance to it, slightly lighter coloured pink. But this is great because it's one of the longest flowering of the alliums and latest as well.
Yeah, and it's a little bit different in the fact that when you plant an allium bulb, obviously you get one allium flower, don't you, from that one bulb. But when you plant this type, it's almost like an herbaceous kind of allium. So you'll get a whole mass of allium flowers from the one pot. You might get 12, 15 from the one pot.
Amazing.
If you've ever grown chives in your garden and you've got chives to flower, it has the same sort of growing habit, similar habit to that. And you can see the bees love it, the pollinating insects love it. These get to about 12, 15 inches tall, so they're not the really, really super tall ones. And they look good for quite a few weeks. These look really, really good for ages. And even when they're finished flowering, the flower heads look really great, so don't deadhead them straight away because they look really great just as a sort of a structural flower head or seed head. And look at the root system on that.
Yeah, I just want to show you that because obviously, you know, it's not looking like much above ground at the moment, but that's not the important thing. What's important right now is what's happening underground. So get that one planted, allow those root systems to really establish, and next year you'll be so glad that you got hold of it now and planted it now because you'll get so many flowers.
Don't you remember them being out in the beds back in the summer when we went out there? I don't know why we didn't... Did we have them on the show then?
We did, but not lots actually, only a couple of times.
Oh, so this is where this clip... I didn't realise
exactly,
that. This is where this was...
That's from the nursery.
Yeah, because I remember seeing them back in the summer thinking, wow, they look amazing.
561206 is the item and number if you would like to go for the allium bubble bath. It's just £7.99, or if you're in the club, it is £17.99. You need to use the code in order to get that deal. It's YGTV4224, and you go to YouGarden.com in order to place your order, or you can use the phone line 0844 502 0050. Make sure you're using the code because that doesn't only give you the saving, it also adds the free gift into your basket, which is the gorgeous Narcissus Tete-a-Tete. You will get a bag of 25 of those premium quality bulbs. Everybody will get those with placing an order, and if you're placing more than one order, you will get more than one bag of them as well. Tete-a-Tetes are the dinky daffodils, so these only reach about 15, maybe 20 centimetres in height. And I love those dinky daffodils because you can plant them in loads of different places. Top of hanging baskets, window boxes, rockeries, they look absolutely gorgeous. You might want to, in fact, those dinky daffodils in these pots. Look at that. Imagine those just poking up out of there. I'd put all 25. I would. It's a lot, I don't care. I would put all of them in there. I'm an overplanter and I don't care. But those are going to look gorgeous. It's the black and white planter. Buy one, get two free. So put one in your basket, enter the code, and you'll get those other two included. They've got the drainage holes. They're UV stabilised. They're frost resistant. They're the perfect size for shrubs, perennials, but autumn winter bedding, and those bulbs as well.
Bex, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What if I said you could have a clematis that is evergreen,
Yeah.
that is fragrant,
Yeah.
that doesn't need pruning?
Put it in my basket right now.
Basket. Got one.
This is shaped up to be one of the most popular of our show today. We didn't highlight this. We're so stupid, Adam. Why didn't we anticipate this was going to be the popular one? But yeah, when you list it like that, the fact that it's evergreen, the fact that it's fragrant, the fact that it's compact, the fact that you don't need to prune it.
Yeah.
Those four things right there, that makes you want it.
No pruning.
Love it.
Perhaps once in a blue moon, a little odd branch that might have got snapped, or it's got a few dead leaves you might want to trim off, but honestly there's none of that pruning group 1, pruning group 2, losing sleep over when do I prune it. Just grow it, and it's not one of those clematis that are going to go berserk either. This only gets about a metre and a half tall, so it's slow growing, evergreen foliage. It looks good all the year through.
Lovely white flowers,
white
too.
flowers, and a lovely sweet fragrance to
And
those as well.
if you need any other reason to go for this, we've got an amazing double up deal here for you. So it's £12.99 for one, or £13.99 £5.99 for 2. Get 2 in your basket. Put that code in because the second one is only £1. 550101 is the item number if you would like to go for what is shaping up to be one of the most popular items on the show. Now, we've only got 2 minutes remaining. Boo. But if you're not done with me, certainly, then I'm back this afternoon. I'll tell you about that in a second. But Adam and I are going to be back on Sunday.
We are.
Slightly earlier time. We've been doing it for the last few weeks. It's 9:30 until 12:30. So if you want to come back, you want to spend a bit more time with us, send us pictures, ask us questions, then please do, because we're both going to be here in the potting shed from 9:30 this afternoon. Email address Stu's just popped on the bottom of the screen if you do want to send us anything.
Sunday.
I meant Sunday morning. But if you want to come back this afternoon and you've got TikTok, then I will be doing a TikTok show this afternoon. We've got loads of houseplants and stuff that we're including in.
We have your hairy anus.
I will have my hairy anus, the Senecio, which is the lovely trailing plant. We've got a TikTok show on Sunday afternoon as well, and that'll be both of us. So Adam and I will both be on that. So yeah, in about an hour's time, if you want to tune in on TikTok, search for YouGarden, you'll find me in the potting shed again. You'll find me here. But if you're not interested in TikTok, that's absolutely fine. Just come back on Sunday morning at 9:30 and Adam and I will do it. We'll do it all over again.
I tell you what, anybody who misses your houseplants is a crazy person. Because I mean, I already got millions, and even the other night I even bought one from Bex, even though I got, because they were just so. Oh yeah, beautiful Boston fern. It was stunning. Couldn't resist. All
right. Well, hopefully you'll come and join us for that. But if not, we'll just have your company on Sunday morning. So make sure you're using the offer code YGTV4224. That's how you unlock everything. The deals, the savings, the double ups, the triple ups, all of those different things. Everybody's going to get a bag of bulbs. Everybody's going to get the daffodils, the Narcissus tete-a-tete with your order. It's not limited to 1 per order. Sorry, it's not limited to 1 per customer, it's 1 per order. So if you're placing multiple orders, you will get multiple bags of those as well. Send us your emails in the meantime. Happy for you to send them during the next few days, and then we can have a look at those on Sunday. I hope you're going to go and enjoy a little bit of the glorious weather that we do seem to be having. Thank you so much for your company. Thank you for your knowledge.
Thank you, Bex.
And
Cheers.
we'll see you on Sunday morning. Lots of love. Bye. Mwah.